All right, guys, we're live and welcome back. It's been 5 weeks, I think, since we were last on, and we are exclusively in the Northern Hemisphere now. So I'm actually here in Indiana, in Show's workshop. Right, so I want to welcome everybody. How's everyone doing?
Doing great, thanks, man.
Doing fine.
Great.
Better now.
Yeah.
I'm tired because you've been here for a week.
Oh yeah. Well, man, it's
you guys been partying too much.
Well,
work.
man, I don't know about that. Maybe a little bit, but there's been well, for me anyway. You fly. It's 24 hours of travel from door to door. With a changeover in LA, and then you've got the time zone change to kind of try and adjust into, and then we've just been building amps like crazy, So we only had probably just yesterday, right? And yesterday was the first day we kind of had off, really, Shay, I'd say.
Yeah.
Small break, so.
Yeah, it was fun. We got a lot more to do, whole bunch more to do.
We do.
Nice.
By the end of it, you'll hate amps. It'll be fine. Yeah. Like at the end of NAMM show. It's the end of NAMM shows for me. Yeah, I hate people, hate amps, hate guitars. Never want to hear another note again. It lasts for a while, but it comes back.
Yeah, I hear you.
We'll need a few days off. A couple days of sleep would be nice. So.
When I get back, I'm going to, and Dan, you were just saying yourself actually before we came on air that you're about to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to do the same. Right? So it'll be 30 June, give or take, by the time I get home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to need a break for a few weeks from amps.
It's going to be trashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about amps. Don't want to see amps.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about them for the next little while, aren't we?
Doesn't matter. All the amps sound like shit, no matter what.
By that point, the time your ears are just blown.
Yeah. Like when you're sitting there working on amps during the day and you realize that everything just sounds like shit to you, and you're just like, I got to stop.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing it.
I don't even have a reference at this point in time.
No.
Yeah,
or you need to pull the reference that you have out and like do some amp switching between them. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm really fucking far off.
I've been doing that recently.
Did you get your amp switcher?
Yes. Yeah. Been amp switching like crazy. I got them sitting under here, I think. There we go.
Yeah, the little
sweet,
bright little things. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, man, the boxes they make too are built like tanks.
Yeah,
it's like you could toss that thing across the room against a wall, and it would still be in one piece.
Yeah, without doubt, it's built like a tank. It's great. It's been superb. But it's just great to be able to just do the instant referencing.
Yeah,
you hear things that you thought you weren't sure if you were hearing. You're like, oh yeah, okay, that's really happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, or like I don't know, this one doesn't sound that good, and you A/B it to the one that you love, and oh, this one actually sounds better.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of experienced that, so it's a bit of a curveball.
Yeah, it's invaluable to have an amp switcher when you're doing this kind of work.
Yeah,
because it's just really you lose all perspective.
Yeah, I never had one before, and it's especially important to be able to do it on a couple of occasions. Your ears aren't always dead on every single day.
Oh,
at the same time. You got to try it a few times and then make a decision. So,
is that the 4x4, Dan?
Yes, the 4x4, and then it's got the effects loop switcher. So you link this one up
set
to
up
it.
the module,
It's just handy because then if you've got effects loops in the amps and you want to just leave like the same effect and have it go to each head's loops, you don't have to have multiple pedals for like every head, for example. You know, it's great. You just stick the same gain in there and just leave it be, and you know, it's totally convenient to have it there. But there's no noise, there's no nothing, there's no pops, no whistles, no nothing. You know, it's just switch.
That sounds like a miracle.
Properly ground
Totally,
isolated.
and being able to do the cabinet switching, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, because then if you've been leaning towards a particular cabinet for a couple of weeks and like your ears are tuned into it and you need to kind of go back and forth between them in real time, and when you do, it's like, oh shit, okay, that doesn't sound exactly.
Yeah, cabinets are always weird. When you first switch them, you're like, oh, I don't like that at all. And then you play on that one for a while and you get used to it. And then you switch back to the other one. Oh, I don't like that one at all.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing that with like a G1280 4x12. And then I had some really good vintage 30s in a 2x12. And I was going back and forth between them. And I was like, oh, I like this one, but there's something about it I don't like. And the same with the other one. And I was like, fuck it. What if I just put them both on at the same time? And it's like, oh, it's like the heavens opened and it's the tone came out. They just fill the gaps, you know. So it's good fun shit, you know. It's definitely recommended if you need to be referencing amps often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to get one. I do have a switcher. I talked about it on the last stream, but it's not properly ground isolated.
Oh, it's the one with the switch or whatever.
Yeah,
the rotary dials.
Yeah.
And high gain amps you get that whistle. You know, you mentioned the whistle. Then it's like
it's horrible.
It's just
these
kind of useful, but you know.
The ones he makes, the N Audio ones, are really neat because they are completely passive. So there is no buffer, there is no isolation transformer. What you're hearing is like the guitar going straight in.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I mean, if you ran a long guitar cable and long cables out the switcher to the amp, you're going to be loading. You know, the longer the cables are, the more loading you'll hear. But if you just had a buffer pedal on the floor or something in front of the switcher, then it would negate all that anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just rigged up a bunch of like relatively normal length cables, nothing majorly long or anything, but everything was working great, and you know, it was it's just turned out to be a great little asset for the workshop. So yeah, shout out to Nikki from N Audio for the great products.
Thank you, Nikki.
Cool.
I was just using mine yesterday to A/B some secret stuff we were working on.
Nice. This sounds interesting.
We love to hear about the secret stuff, Dave.
Yeah,
the secret stuff.
Hey,
I can't say about it. I can't say anything about
it. Maybe after
maybe off the air.
After your third drink, you might tell us something about it.
Nah.
Talking to drinking.
What are we drinking?
Yeah, what are we drinking?
See, I got German ale, Bitburger.
Bitburger,
really
that's a good beer.
Bitburger, yes, a German Pilsner.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have a tiny bit of tequila.
Hey,
you can guess what I'm drinking.
I'm doing a Brewdog juice.
And yes, Shay is drinking that thing called water.
They made this for senior. Hey, they made this
water.
Michelob.
This is standard
water.
issue.
Sparkling
standard
water.
issue in Indiana, I think.
You guys.
I don't think there's any other beer here. This is all there is.
No, there's other beer there.
Well, we got them in bottles too, so you can choose a can or a bottle.
I got a nice little new one that I got from
Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack limited edition.
Oh,
a nice little gift from my dear friend Tommy Gleason from the band Feeder. So I got a knock at the door the other morning, and I was like, "Fuck, I didn't order anything from Amazon." They're like, "Oh yeah, you have to sign for it." I'm like,
This happens to me all the time.
This was inside.
This literally happens to me all the time. Like the tequila that I'm drinking here, someone sent me in the mail, and it was sitting here when I got back from my surgery in Vegas. I didn't touch it for a while, but it got touched in Tone Talk the other night, and now it's getting finished.
That was Friday, actually. I actually tuned into some of that show, Dave. So
Yeah, Philip Sace.
Yeah, Philip.
yeah, he's killing.
Fucking amazing
Nice guy.
guitar player.
Oh man,
Ripping.
He's amazing.
he's incredible.
Yeah, he's amazingly good.
Attacks it.
It was really interesting to hear his story, you know, how Jeff Healey really got him his start in the business. It was interesting.
Right.
Yeah. That was
He's
cool.
I remember seeing Jeff Healey. Yeah, I saw him.
I saw Jeff Healey
So-
also. Yeah.
Australia.
Oh, I wish I'd seen Jeff Healey.
Oh, he was fucking amazing. We talked about that a little on the show. It's like to see him, you know, playing guitar, you know, flat on his lap, you know, and doing all this ripping kind of stuff on it. And then he would stand up, playing it that way, and then he'd flip his hand over and play it normal, and then he'd put it behind his head and play it behind his head, and he's blind. I mean, and I saw him do that whole routine, and it was just like, oh, fuck you. Come on,
And
man.
singing. And
singing his
at the
ass
same
off.
time.
It's too fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was good.
you can hear a lot of that kind of similar fire in Philip's playing, definitely. He's one of the very few players that I've ever stood in the same room as, and the first chord he hit, it felt like it nailed you to the back wall of the room.
Yes.
It felt like you moved back about 5 meters. It was just ridiculous.
I know. When they
So
rehearse
much
across
power.
when they rehearse across the street from here, you literally, with all the doors shut and the rehearsal room doors shut, plain as day, you can go, oh, Philip's rehearsing.
Yeah, man.
Because the strat is just cutting through and it's bright, you know, and it's just like piercing through the walls.
Yeah, it's just
In a great way.
power. Yeah. And he's got the best wah-wah tone.
Yeah.
For me, he's untouchable in the wah department. He's got I'm a bit of a wah fanatic, and like vintage wah pedals and stuff, and he's just got that. He's got that tone just dialed in so perfectly.
I know. He's amazing. Really nice guy too.
I'm gonna hit this super chat that's just come in. T-Top. So hey fellas, just wanted to say big thanks to Dan and Dave for getting my small boxes tweaked. So perfectly dialed in legends.
Awesome.
Oh, this is Tommy, the one who got me the whiskey.
Yeah.
This is the one who.
All
this
right,
is
well,
Tommy
there you
who got
go.
me the whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the deal, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there something? Didn't one have to come back or something because there was something going on or something different or something? Or
Yeah. It turned out to be something relatively simple. The loop send level on one of them was hotter than the other one,
yeah,
and he loved the tone of the one with the hotter loop send.
he just turned it up.
Yeah, just matched it. I just scoped it, single gen it, and just matched it basically just to see how it was going. And yeah, it totally came alive.
Perfect.
It's like, it was
Yeah, that's
great.
what I thought. That's what I thought it was
Yeah.
when I was telling you that. I go, it could be just the loop level is wrong, different.
Yeah, it was. Everything else, I went through the whole amp. They were crazy consistent. You know, they're from different batches and everything. There's years between those two, but the tone of them is really consistent. You know,
Cool.
you know, one of them has got the synergies.
Yeah.
In there, and one of them's got the Mallories.
Yeah.
But those Mallories are so burned in on that older one that they're just. I'm like reluctant to suggest switching them because they just sound great. You know.
Yeah, if it sounds great, it sounds. I mean,
It's like, why mess with it if it's just spot on? So yeah. But absolutely beast of an amp.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we've got a bunch of guys here in the chat, which is nice to see. Brian's here. Hey Brian.
hey Brian, what's up?
Yeah,
Brian.
what's happening, man? Cool to see.
I love his
your
logo.
latest amp.
Yeah, it's a good logo.
Oh yeah,
His logo,
Yeah, it's got-
Brian, your logo's the coolest.
the whole
I think
look of his
it's the whole
stuff.
look of it is the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I gotta say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
As
have to listen
Harrison
to the
had
new
been-
amp. I have to
Yeah.
listen to his new amp.
Oh well, I've heard that. So Pete and Michael Nielsen did it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I listened to that.
think I probably can listen to it because I think it's still here.
Yeah.
Pete's on tour,
Probably
and
is.
and if he didn't ship it or something, then it's still here.
You as long as you don't have to lift it up, Dave, you'll be fine.
Well, I can't lift anything up right now, so yeah,
Yeah.
Is that all right?
that's what my son's
Uh,
for.
There you go.
Yeah.
I took my son to the factory, and all he
Work
did.
experience.
I took him to the factory, and all he did all day was move 100-watt Jose amps from the shelf to the bench all day long.
Nice.
Like 6 or 7 hours.
Got to
Wow.
put them to good use.
Yeah. We started shipping those.
So
Oh, sweet.
yeah, I'm gonna ask you about that in a second, Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Jason and friends. I feel this is from Gravedigger. I feel the more I learn about building and modifying circuits, the less I want to share my knowledge. Interesting. How do you guys deal with this, and do you have similar tendencies? It's a good question.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Here's how I look at it. I go, if someone wants to know, they're going to find out anyway.
Yeah.
They're gonna get one. They're gonna take it all apart. They're gonna do whatever they want to it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's good luck. I mean, and what if they do? So what? Good luck. Good luck making a business out of it.
Yeah.
This is not an easy business.
Yeah.
And good luck. And good luck. And generally speaking, if you're, I share a lot of stuff. I'm not too guarded about maybe one or two little secrets and stuff. I don't, but depends on who it is. I might share it.
Yeah.
Share it with you guys.
Yeah. There's so much info already out there if you know where to look for it too. So,
just like maybe everyone shares and just creates their own sounds, and things that they like, I think, we all learned off everything else anyway, we all learned, you started with whatever your favorite thing was, and you learned all about that, and you moved forward, and then you look at other people's designs and, oh, that's cool. I see what they did there. That's a neat idea, or you're like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun to share.
Dude, I remember giving away some info that I shouldn't have gave away. It was something I worked really hard on, and the person I told it to just hadn't spent a lot of time even trying to find, get info and do the work. So
yeah.
But if there's people like you guys that are just constantly doing it, it's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I would say that a lot of subscribers to this channel, have subscribed to this channel because I did share things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like that was absolutely consciously a part of, a strategy, I guess, that I employed to try and build a base that would actually even, follow and understand what Headfirst was doing and so on. So it was like, it was a way of getting an audience. But so my thinking around that was always, I probably evolved actually, but it went to the point of thinking that, as you guys have just said, if the information is already out there, it was just, but maybe not presented in a way that was easily consumable, or maybe not presented in a video format. It was in a forum somewhere that you had to read and understand. So it's just kind of repackaging information. And I think the last, just the last 10, 15, or 20%, which is where you put your signature in, when you're developing your own circuit or your own signature sound or whatever, a lot of it's going to be based on stuff that's happened before. Of course it is, but there is that last piece that you will put in yourself. And dealing with people, I get emails all the time from DIY guys, right? Because I've done a lot of DIY stuff on the channel.
Yeah.
And you can pretty quickly, I think you can pretty quickly tell the difference between someone who's actually genuinely interested in learning and has put the work in to understand the basics. And it's cool to help them, because they're already on the journey, right? It's the guys that you get emails from who just want you to tell them the answer without having to put any work in. You're kind of like, you need to kind of go away, learn this stuff.
So it's kind of, you just feel
exactly.
it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think, what everyone's going to put their own stamp on this stuff, and like everyone's ears, their hands are we've all got our own sound and a thing we're chasing anyway. So,
Yeah,
we're
it's
approaching
exactly.
somewhat similar things, but we're all getting slightly different outcomes. Where I think it's like maybe not as cool is if people are just shooting for like the exact same thing you're doing, and they're deliberately like trying to step on that, knowing that it's kind of something that you're kind of perhaps already known for doing, you know, because with this so many ways you can do this stuff, and there's so many great sounds. So I think the trick is it's like finding your thing and not just mimicking. Does that make sense? Like put your own spin on stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice, it's a jumping off point, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I would say it's a jumping off point, and I can say on my own journey that one of the amps that I built, I've told this story before. The first amp I ever built, where I got all the parts myself rather than just buying a kit where everything's in a box. It's a Dirty Shirley, you know, and because that information I was able to find enough about it, and I had enough. There were enough pictures on the internet of that amplifier, the early one, that I could figure it out. But it's a jumping off point, right? That was, you know, when you're in the early stages of learning the craft.
Exactly.
It's not a terrible thing to build a clone.
No.
But don't make it your thing forever. That's all, you know. Then move on from it. Yeah,
exactly that.
Yeah, like that.
The only other thing I would say. Sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that to Gravedigger that one of the things that you should be open to, if you do share your knowledge, you'll get knowledge in return.
Yeah.
As well, right? So you'll build a community of people that would like to learn from you, and they will also give back to you as well. So I wouldn't close up.
Yeah, you know, the Dirty Shirley became sort of a circuit that was like, I mean, I sort of had a concept for it. I wanted to make that sort of fat JTM 45E Billy Gibbons-esque sort of gooey. When you smack it hard, you can feel it kind of sag and get fun, you know, and not too bright and not too brash, and you know, good with strats, also good with tellies, also.
Yeah.
And it works really well for that kind of stuff, you know, really particularly well. But there's definitely some tricks in it. You know, some people just go, oh, well, that's just sort of like a JCM 800 in front of a JTM 45. Yeah, really basically, yes. Really basically. Really, really basically. But you're missing a few other components that change things. There's a little something in the phase inverter that changes things, and there's a little something.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I was never actually asked you about that.
Yeah, the not the grid resistor, but
but the split cathode off to the PI. It's not 1 meg, is it?
470K 1 meg.
470K 1 meg. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if I can totally take. I stole that from someone else. So something that Dan Russell did on an original Nailer amp, not all of them, but on one particular model. And then I tried it in the circuit, and I'm like just switching it in and out, kind of listening, and I'm like going, man, that does something cool. I like it. I'm gonna use it.
Can you remember, like, because I've never AB'd that, I've never actually tried it. Can you recall?
I can't at this point. I can't remember what the difference is in my head, even like, because I only do it on that amp. It was just better on that amp. I only do it on that amp. And then, I don't know. And then when I did the Twin Sister, I just made one switch that just has a little bit of a mid bump and a little less bass on the front end, just so it got a little tighter. Because I thought that was a nice little feature. You know, if you didn't want it.
Yeah,
so
cool.
bloaty on the low end. You know, sometimes the low end scares people. I mean, people that play like super bass Marshalls and stuff or JTM 45s, the low end doesn't scare them. You know, because they're used to that big fat thing. But people that used to playing like very lean front end amps, and then they play it, they're like, that's too much low end.
Yeah, I love it.
You can turn the bass knob down, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Turn
I
the
love that
mids up,
thing. It's
treble up,
great.
presence up, turn the bass knob down. You'll get you know, it'll, you know, like a JTM 45 it's down to a quarter something,
Yeah.
you know.
But the response is so much fun though. It's like it's got that like kind of furry sort of bottom end.
Have you
thing
played through
going on.
that amp ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a
Yeah.
gooey thing.
It's great.
really
The playing
fun.
feel on it. It's
Yeah.
really, really fun, especially when you get it loud, because then it becomes more apparent.
Yeah. And you
Like
get
the
it
lower
loud.
volumes, like it's great and it's great and it's really cool. But like it once you get the volume up a little bit and then you start getting that interaction with the phase inverter happening,
Yeah.
then it really becomes apparent. And
Yeah.
it's really easy to play.
And put the gain back at about 6. Don't go crazy with the gain.
No,
So it
you don't
gets
really
a little
need that much.
cleaner. Get the mids up a little bit. Get, you know, and then it feels, even at NAMM shows and things when we have amp switchers, you get to that amp and you play it and you're like, oh, it just feels good.
Yeah, it's like it's comfy. Like it's
And
like
it's really good with the Strat.
It's really warm. Like I love that amp. I love that amp
Yeah.
with the Strat. It's
it's
great.
It's great fun. It's really harmonically rich.
I always say that's if you're more of a vintagey kind of guy and you don't need a lot of gain and stuff like that, that's the amp you should try.
Yeah, it's nice boosted.
Yeah. Killer boosted.
It's really good fun boosted. You know, if you hit the front end, especially with something that's like not like your typical run of the mill boost, but if you stick like I don't know, stick even something like a Range Master in front, you know, and get that really
tight.
It's just a great combination.
Well, we have a Buxom boost pedal that we use a lot, and you can get a tight knob on it, and it tightens it up, right? Yeah. And if you put that into that and boost it really well, you can tighten it up till the response is almost like Metallica.
Yeah.
But the squish factor, this is really weird. You're getting this response of this super tight thing, but you're getting this squish at the same time, and it's almost like a mind fuck because you're not used to hearing that kind of thing, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great sound. Great feel.
We got a question here from Buck Wild. Hey Dave, no love for Canada. West Coast Guitars no longer carry Friedman. Cosmo's closed. No one left to buy from up here. Is there still a distributor for Friedman?
Yeah, there's not West Coast. I don't know what the deal was with West Coast. What happened there? Yeah, Cosmo closed, but there's another Canadian. Oh, there's Stang Guitars I think they're in Edmonton, I think. So it's probably on the other side of the world for wherever you're at. Stang Guitars does a lot with us. Tyler Stang, he's awesome. Yeah, sorry. I mean, and not to mention our president hasn't really made it any easier for you guys. You know, tariff wars between every country and ugh.
Don't get me started about shipping into America right now. Oh my god.
No.
Oh really? What's happening there?
So
you
I had an amp that came from a repeat customer of mine, and he already bought it in the States.
Yeah.
He lives on the East Coast, and he sent it over to me for some mods and for some some reworks. It's basically a clone of the Lynch amp. You know the first Marshall, but he had one of those done originally, and then he sent me a 50 JMP, little small box thing, and got it all modded, got it all done, sent it back, and I was thinking, okay, a couple of days, I've sent it express delivery, should be no problem. Gets to the border and it sits at the border and hears nothing for a good few days. Then he gets either I don't know if it was a call or an email from the customs clearance where they're saying, so we need what exactly was it? We need to know the exact materials that the any of the metal parts were from, the country that the metal was poured, or country of origin. Smelt. Yeah, country of origin, country of smelt. Well, all this kind of random stuff. If it's aluminium, we need this one. If it's steel, we need this. And then they were also saying we need to know also if the wood that the head shell was made out of. We need to know about the formaldehyde content inside of it. So they needed all this info, right? I don't have this info. This is an amp that was made in 1976 or 77 or something, right? You know, even Marshall don't have that kind of info anymore. But the point is, I've got one connection at Marshall, and after a couple of days of back and forth, she was able to at least get me a certificate of at least the current Marshall, with the certificate about the wood, the formaldehyde in it and everything. And that, luckily enough, that was enough to get them to just shut the fuck up at the border and clear it. And just, if they wanted some tax on it or whatever, get on with it. But they held it up for like the best part of a week. And they were like terrorizing him over the emails, trying to get all this info that he had no clue about.
What the fuck?
But the thing is, it was an amp that was from the USA. He already sent it to me. It's not like it was coming into the country for the first time. It was one he'd sent to me literally like 2 months before or a month before. And
that's like a return. That's like a
repair and return.
Exactly, which I've done. I mean,
which doesn't seem to work anymore, by the way.
No, I can't.
Return doesn't work anymore.
Returns. No, returns don't work here either for me. I've tried dealing with it, and they don't consider it to be a return of the same. The item is no longer in the same condition. It's been modified.
How do they know?
It's impossible.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's impossible. I guess you can't. How do you prove I know.
Yeah, even if it's just been repaired, something inside was probably changed in their mind.
What I started doing with people, especially if I know the people, was start doing it where we pay the customs, and then I bill it back. I bill it back to them after the fact.
Yeah.
Because that way it almost ensures that it gets there.
Always goes through.
It's like if they're relying on them, the customs people to contact the receiver, that never works out well for me. So in the UK, I won't actually ship anything to the UK anymore without us paying for it on our end.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
And then I have to work it out with the guy, the person that, look, we're going to bill you back. I don't know what it is yet. I might not know for 2 weeks, but
this is
I have a rough idea. I have a rough idea what it is, but now with all this stuff, I have no idea.
No, I have no idea what any of the taxes are supposed to be now with all this stuff, because everything's changed. It's changing every 5 minutes. It's like, I remember years ago, it was like, okay, if the amp was worth $1,000, it was this much money it was going to be and all that. But now, calculating it, I mean, for fucking knows, it's like,
who knows?
Yeah.
Well, like if you send anything into Canada now, there's a 25 on Canada's end. There's a 25% tariff.
Right.
On American, like an American product going into Canada, they're charging a 25% tariff.
Okay. For us, it's probably not the tariff because it's UK to Canada, right? So.
Who knows? So here's what I wound up doing. It's like, if it's out of state, it's like, all right, well, the factory is going to handle this, and I'll let Maria down at our factory deal with that whole thing. Here's the sale. Can you just give them an invoice and just do?
Yeah.
I don't want to even.
I don't have that luxury. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've kind of look, it's so far that stuff hasn't really impacted me because
we're getting tariffs on PCBs now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had already. From where?
JLC.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, we are. We do.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Well, I don't get that because
we didn't for a while, but all of a sudden, this newest order I just did the other day that has tariffs on it. I'm like, okay, great. Prices are going up, people.
Yeah.
The prices are going up.
Yeah.
With every major music manufacturer within the next 6 months, you're going to see a price increase.
Yeah. My Mauser orders are getting more expensive every time.
Fender, everyone across the board.
Yeah, well, that's just inflation, probably, Dan. I mean, your Mauser stuff is sourced from, where does it ship from?
Ships from I guess it's from Texas. I think it's from Texas, isn't it, or somewhere? Yeah. So I don't know, but
you get tariffs on all the Mauser capacitors and everything.
I guess they're baking it into the cost, I would imagine now. So you don't see it as listed. I guess it's just must already just be baked into the costs, because it seemed more expensive when I did an order recently. So
Oh yeah.
You can always go back. You can always go back and look at your order history. If you look at, you can search the part.
Yeah,
and you can see.
Oh, it went up 50 cents.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, I'm still gonna be placing the order, whatever happens.
Yeah,
so
it's
like fuck it.
Cap that used to be 30 cents is cap that used to be 30 cents is now $1.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, you know, it helps if you buy all this stuff in massive numbers, so that you just, you know, you get at least the price break on some of it, but still. Yeah.
Did those did the Marshall amps ever come out? Have they released those yet? The new ones?
I don't think the people have got them here yet. Other than
I don't know if people
like
have gotten it. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I've seen many videos.
Oh,
yeah, they keep posting stuff, but I'm like, where's the amps?
I know there's loads of people who were, you know, like influencers and all that stuff who were getting those sent to them.
Yeah.
But those amps were doing the rounds. I think they were getting passed around, you know, like, I'm not even going to say, but yeah, they were just going from one to another and to another. So
I'm waiting for the schematics.
I think we can kind of guess it already looking.
On
I could draw it out.
800, yeah, I think I can guess it.
I think on the Plexi I could draw it out as well.
Yeah, the Plexi looks. Yeah.
JCM 800, when they flick the one is a cathode switch, because you hear the big pop when they switch the switch in the videos. And I guarantee it's just your standard 800 in one mode, and then two different gain amounts. So probably one has a cap and a resistor, and the other has just a resistor. Probably just, I'm guessing, just like a structure switch on one of mine.
Good guess.
I don't think they're changing. I don't think they're changing at all the gain pot. So it's a standard 1 meg 800 thing. And then the tight switch, well, it's just a smaller coupling cap. So it doesn't get, because without changing that pot to a smaller value or something, it's going to be tubby if you boost the gain that much. So you're going to want that tighter. And then the other one is an EQ shift of some sort. So it's either just switching the value of the treble. It's either switching the EQ, the slope, and the treble, or it's just switching the treble cap.
I reckon it's just the treble cap. I reckon it's probably sticking another 470 puff in there.
Yeah, so
it's probably like 1,000 puffs, something like that. Because it just sounds like a broad, like honky sound.
Yeah. So
that's the Laney thing, though, isn't it? The switchable one that goes up
that
to
was
like
there
1,000.
forever.
Yeah,
Laney, man, when you look at all those Laney amps from the 80s and stuff, and you're looking at it roughly, you're like going, God, these guys were way ahead of their time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just like they didn't quite have it completely right.
Yeah,
as far as like modern day sound, but they were close. I mean, a couple parts differences, and you'd have like something that was really workable.
Yeah.
Have you seen one, Jason? Have you ever seen one of these those Laneys?
Which one is it that we're talking about? Which Laney?
Dude,
like a Pro Tube or whatever.
Oh,
I used to. That was my first amp I ever had.
Oh, really?
But it was before
Pro Tube lead or an AOR?
Yeah, Pro Tube lead.
So
because there's variations of it.
Without the switchable, it didn't have the switchable boost. It was just like an 800 basically.
So the Pro Tube, for Pro Tube lead, the first one, I had that too, but it had some push pull EQ switches, I think.
Yeah, from memory, I can't remember. Man,
I had that too. I wish I still had that amp.
I was maybe 19 or 20. And I didn't know anything about amps. I just was just using it to play.
Yeah.
And then I just not long after that, maybe a year after I got that head, I got an 88 MP1 as everyone.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Ran into the. I think it had an effects loop. It did, right? It ran it into the effects loop on there.
Yeah, I think it was just a passive insert, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
So I have.
Hey, speaking of, sorry, Shay.
Wait, Jason, real quick. I have one of those amps right above you. There's an attic above you. I went into a pawn shop one time and they had one. Okay, it's a 50 watt I think it was a 50.
Yeah, that's what I had. 50.
And it's real cheap. And it was like $200. And this is like 3 years ago. And I'm like, why is it so cheap? Well, it had a mouse nest in it or something. And so so he hands it over to me, and it just reeks of piss. And I'm just like, oh no. And I was like, well, I don't know. I could probably clean it up. And I ended up buying it for like $80 maybe. And I got it back. It was near my parents' house. I got it in the garage and I opened it up. And I think I scrubbed this thing for 3 to 4 days and could never clean the piss smell out of it. And I was like, I can't do anything with this.
Yeah, it's in the wood.
Yeah. But I got to see what it was. It is pretty cool amp.
Yeah, man, they're great. Good transformers in them. You know, they're Scott transformers.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah,
I mean, they're up there with the 80s, you know, JSIM 800s and stuff. No problem. Easily up on the same level.
I have to say, I had the matching 4x12, the Laney, and it's the one with it's got the mesh grill.
Yeah.
Wire, quite thin kind of mesh grill. It's a really good sounding 4x12. I remember putting it up against some friends, you know, who had Marshall cabs and other things, and I was like, this Laney cab sounds better.
What was in it?
It had the 75 watt.
Yeah.
The white and black.
Yeah.
GT 75s.
Yeah.
And the cab eventually fell apart because I was gigging with this thing all the time, right? It was getting hauled around the place. And I got a local cabinet maker to make me a new 4x12 cabinet. And I put the same speakers, took them out of that Laney cabinet and put them into this new cabinet, and it sounded fucking terrible. I hated it.
Bummer.
Oh man, disaster. So it's like it was the first lesson in like, okay, cabinets. It's not just the speakers. It's a cab.
No, the cab is such a big factor in it as well, isn't it?
Oh man, was it ever?
I tried to get the orange cabinet out of my shop a couple weeks ago. So I have an orange cabinet, and then I've got like a Marshall style Monomyth cab, right? And the orange cabinet does not have a brace in it. Right. So it sounds huge. Adds a lot of bass, right? And I put in another just regular cab in there, and I was just like, oh man. It not even close. Not even close. And I was like, well, I guess you're staying.
Yeah.
Keep it that way.
Sometimes those certain cabs just some cabs just have that sound, don't they, that fills the room. I just totally fell back in love with I've got an early 2000s 1960 TV cab, tall vintage.
Oh yeah.
It's about this much taller than a normal one.
The slant,
the slanted one. Yeah,
those are great sounding.
It's like it's a contender for maybe my best sounding cab, and I just totally fell back in love with it. And it's like early 2000s Greenback reissues. And it just sounds. They don't sound like other Greenbacks though, right? Weird thing, and I don't know if you got the same vibe with them, but they have a little bit of a vintage 30 thing going on in the mid. A little bit of it. They still break up like a Greenback, but the mid range in them is just a little bit more. I don't know. It punches more like a V30 than a Greenback. But they sound so good, especially with high gain. You know, but that cab just fills the room. It's massive sounding.
I think
I should copy one of those.
I have the same reissue Greenbacks.
You should, Dave. Those are sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, those reissue Greenbacks from the early 2000s are just great.
I'm sure I've got the same speakers in the Marshall cab that I've got home.
They had them in there. I think they kept using those particular ones till like 2004 or something like that, or 05. And they're just that whole era, 2000 through 2005, just seemed to be all good and consistent. But I've only tried them in a tall vintage cab. So I've tried a couple of those cabs, and I've never tried the same.
I've just got mine in a regular B,
cab.
a regular B straight cab. That's
amazing. I need to do like a shootout and compare them with like some blackbacks or something and see how they differ. Because I've got a few quads of those.
When they get a switcher, so
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just like
right.
dig them all up and piss the
dig 'em
neighbours
Put it
all
on
off.
the switcher, and then you
Yeah.
can you're
Yeah.
ready to go now, man. You definitely got to buy more
exactly.
cabs now.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking great, but I can see this is going to get costly.
I just bought. There was a old Selmer treble and bass that was listed. It was pretty beat condition, but even what they were saying, it's like, oh, okay, it needs some service. It's okay. I don't care. But it was like $500. And I'm like, that has a great output transformer, a bunch of mustards through it and everything. I go, I can make it whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. There you go.
And
Nice
it looks
flat
cool.
network
It
with-
looks cool as shit. Can't see it too much. It's right there. Can't really see it. There's a little blue Selmer logo and it's got the brown face. And then the Tolex is like painted and it's like it's a wreck looking. Yeah. But they broke the rectifier tube in shipment and stuff, but I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna do something to it. But it just looks cool. For $500, I was like, it's worth it for the chassis and the output transformer.
That's it. You should do something hilarious, like put 6 gain stages in it or something.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of thinking.
That's
do something
like
nuts.
a fed boost in front and some other shit,
Yeah.
See if you can rig up like another 3 or 4 power tubes in it, and
funny. Why not? Why not?
Kind of shit I'd do.
Hey, I got one of these.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh
Yeah. So this I haven't literally unwrapped it about an hour ago, right? So
you haven't barely looked at it, yeah.
Well, I ordered 2 of them, right? So Shay's got one. And we've had a bit of a look. We've had a bit of a look through Shay's book, but man, this thing I gotta say,
that's
right?
Porn, man.
This thing,
That's a hell of a book.
Holy shit! I haven't really.
Book is worth what is charged for it. That book is worth the price they charge. In fact, I think he undercharges for it. To be honest. Just the color and the bound and just the quality of the pages, it just looks amazing.
It is so cool, man. It is so cool.
They'll tell the story of each amp that's in there, where he got it, how he got it.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really high quality book.
Yeah, like I said, it's worth it.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, the people that are on the stream, if you don't have this book yet, you've got to get it. I mean, it even goes down to this level of detail.
Oh yeah, the rivets that were used and the screws that were used on the cabinet.
This is like next level geekery.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
you need one, man.
New level.
Yeah, I'll have to get this. Yeah.
This thing.
I'll have to order one.
This is going to be. This is a Bible, man.
Absolutely, I think it's wonderful.
I think it's
when he brought me the prototype and I just thumbed through it on my bench while he was there, and I'm like going, oh man, I can only imagine this when it's in its hardcover. It's like, and it was just like, oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that one. Oh, orange. Oh, yellow. Oh.
And then it just goes up to like JMP, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
so much, and then it's like they don't even dive
right. Yeah.
800s.
Yeah. Why bother?
Has he got in there any of the other Marshall variants? Like, Marshall did like Kitchen Marshall.
Yeah, he has some of that in there. Yeah,
he's got that in Big M. And
Big M. He's got a Big M in there.
Cover.
That's
on the cover. Look.
Oh, Big M's there. Yeah, a knob.
And I think, by the way, that amp on top, I'm pretty sure I just worked on that for him.
Oh wow,
that was in my shop. Because he like brought it to me and he's like, well, yeah, I just want to make sure it's operating and running. And I'm like going, I'm not going to turn this on unless I replace the filter caps. Because I had a bad experience with the JTM 45 where the filter caps just blew their load across the whole beautiful board and it never looked the same again.
Not the one that's mounted in the wall of it, the wall of the chassis.
And it just blows it right across the whole circuit board and you can never get it clean.
No, man.
Not like it looked. You can get it relatively clean, but
Yeah.
not like it looked. And I'm like, oh no, man, let's change these. We'll put the caps in a bag. Let's change it so it operate good, and I won't have to worry about turning it on. But that amp sounded really good, actually. That one, I was surprised for a JTM 45. That one sounded really good.
I got a couple of super chats here that I'll get to. The guys will go on to the effort of doing that. Thanks, I appreciate it. So the question is, hey Dave, excited about the upcoming Friedman 3-channel pre? Will you be voicing the channels after your existing models or something new?
Yes, and new also. So
yes,
a little of both, but there might be, we might have changed our mind on what we're doing. So that has yet to be seen.
Is this a rack mount? Is this a rack mount pre?
Yes.
Cool.
But we are also talking that's like a 3-channel rack mount pre. Kind of like the Soldano pre, that's in existence now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We were just having this debate and discussion about also doing a single fully programmable rack pre. I mean, fully programmable, everything.
Very cool.
Doesn't exist
like
a JMP1 or a
88
Triaxis
MP1
or something, but with knobs, but all the channels and all the sounds and all the things and IRs and the whole 9 yards.
That'd be cool.
That'd be super cool too. So I don't know. It's going to be one or the other, or maybe both in the end.
Maybe both. That's just right.
Yeah.
It's funny. Brad's Guitar Garage. That's an amp autism book right there.
Yep.
Sure. Get one, dude.
You gotta get one. Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is so heavy. This is what my thinking here, of course, like ordering this and getting it delivered to Shay's place.
That makes more sense.
I didn't want to pay for shipping. This thing's heavy, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shipping that to
a 10-pound book.
Freaking encyclopedia.
Yeah. It's cool. Mine's sitting right over right next to me here.
We've got another one here. So T-Top's back again. Hey, thanks, man. Question is, how much of the cabinet construction do you think you hear in an IR of a speaker?
Oh,
I don't know.
Do.
I don't know.
No, you do.
That. You do hear it, yeah.
You do for sure.
So. Yeah,
you do for sure hear it. Cabinet construction is so much. What kind of wood a cabinet's made out of? Like you can make identical. Let's say you make identical 4x12 cabinets, right? Identical in construction. Let's say you change what the wood is. They don't sound the same at all if you do that. And you, because I've actually done this in years past, and you really just need the Baltic birch. It just has to be there. It just has to be. Can't be anything else. Can't be apple ply, which is a birch derivative. It can't be
MDF.
Nah, it can't be MDF.
Yeah, that's what Marshall uses, right?
That's what who?
Marshall uses MDF, don't they?
No, on some stuff, on the cheaper stuff.
Wasn't so Dave? I haven't watched all of this video, but I saw little bits of it. Steve Freyett was on the guy's channel, and I can't remember his name. He's
the German guy, the Kohler.
Yeah. Because he's visited the
Kohler. Something.
You know who I mean, right?
Yeah.
So he's been to Steve's factory a couple of times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And in the last video he did with Steve, Freyett was actually talking about the difference that the back panel.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying there's a big difference between a ply,
birch? Or particle
versus MDF, because he said you can take a cabinet and if you knock the back of it, you'll hear that resonance. And Shay, I think that's also it's similar to what you were talking before about that brace,
man.
Right? So
yeah,
that whole back of the thing.
Yeah, you know what? When I was first doing cabs, I played with both. We had interchangeable backs, we played with both. And you know what? They both were good. They both did different things. In the end, with the Baltic birch that we use, I prefer the Baltic birch on mine. I don't think our Baltic birch is completely void free. So maybe that has some sort of play in it all and sonically.
Right.
In the end, I mean, I like our cabs a lot. In the end, they sound good, and it seems most people out there have agreed that they like the Friedman cabs, even up against other people's, you know. But I mean, a good old Marshall cab with a, you know, my main cab in my shop, the old one that I have is a particle board back for sure, MDF back. I think the 70s cabs I have over here for sure, those too.
Yes.
And they sound great. They sound great also. So it's
They sound good. I still think they sound good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but me and Jason, we did the birch for our stuff too. Just because.
Did you A/B it?
I haven't A/B'd it. I did A/B it with this orange cabinet, but like I said, that orange cabinet doesn't have a brace in it, so I will probably mess around with that again.
It's an interesting A/B. If you have another back, you can just bolt on and then listen to it. It's like it is an interesting sound.
Sure.
I don't always think when Stevie's talking about that knock to it. Don't always, you know, a lot of old Marshall cabs and stuff, they've been sitting dried out for so many years. You know what I mean? There's no moisture in the cabinet left. There's no nothing. The glue was different. Everything was different. And I agree. The ones that have that knocky sounding where you tap on the back and it sounds real hollow and it just has that thumping and they're a little lighter and not super heavy. Those old cabs, those ones sound amazing.
Yeah.
I think always.
Yeah. Agreed.
I just made a decision when we did this with this back. Here's the wood we're using. Here's what we're doing. Here's the design. Here's how it's constructed. Listen to this back. Listen to that back. Which one do you like better? I picked the birch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of variables in that. How you make everything else in it too. It's made like an old cab, but there's little details that are a little different. Like the baffle board screws into birch instead of pine. Like there or fir, like on an old Marshall, the inner part that the baffle board screws into is like a fir or a pine or a fir kind of wood. I never went down that deep.
Yeah.
Is it different? We used birch because you use the scraps to make that part, and I would think that would sound different, but
probably.
Yeah, every little part of the recipe adds to a certain sound, doesn't it? I guess, but
but I think in terms of IRs, I think they're
sure. How the speaker reacts in a cabinet is different. If you put that, if you take one speaker and put it in a 4x12 versus a 112 versus a 212, and are capturing IRs and the whole, because you're capturing the whole chain, the whole cabinet, it's different.
Absolutely, it does. It makes a big difference.
Question here from Ian O'Rourke. Is it normal for my 77 2204 to take about 15 minutes playing after warming up on standby to kind of wake up and roar better? You mean 50 minutes of playing? Okay, so the amp's on and not in standby.
I've got a theory on this one, maybe.
Could be tired. Could be tired tubes, could be tired caps, could be tired dirty contacts. It could be, you know, like I can't tell you how many times I just get amps in and like, what do you think's wrong with it? I'm like, judging from how it looks, I bet if I clean all the sockets and clean all the pots, it'll work fine. And a lot of times that's all it is. That's all it is.
Just like that 74, Super Lead that we just cleaned up, Shay.
Yeah, we just did that.
Because they just rot after a while, and it's like crackly pots and you know, and bad connections on tube socket pins, and you're getting the signals dropping and coming up, and it's just do all that stuff first, and then see where you're at, and then go from there. You know, then move on to what else it might be. you know.
Yeah.
Or you check
do you
the
think,
tubes on a
Vince?
tester. Okay, they're testing fine. They're testing in match. They're testing okay. Okay, that's probably okay.
Yeah.
You know?
If you've got power tubes that are kind of like, they're all over the place, and when you first power it up, you take it off standby and they shoot up really high and then they gradually creep back down, or some kind of go the other way. They start off a bit cold and then they just keep creeping up and up and up. I mean, that could be part of it, but then if you've had the thing serviced, and I don't mean like, just new tubes. I mean, you've had it really properly serviced top to bottom, so it's really running the way it should be. Then it could also be, depends on how old your cab is. If your speakers are kind of new, they take a little bit of time. Like when you play the thing in, like with fresh speakers or relatively new speakers that aren't really broken in, you might need to play for 15, 20 minutes before the speakers get warm and get moving. Then they start to sound better. They get a little bit warmer and softer, but it could be that. It could be a million things that's causing it, but it's hard to know unless it's been really serviced and detailed properly.
Agree. All right, we've got Robbie here who's asking, is about to purchase my first tube amp. Want a 20-watt head that sounds similar to an AB165 Bassman, wavering between the Rev D20 and the Friedman Little Sister. Thoughts? Thank you.
Well, Dave probably has.
I mean, the AB1, an AB165. I mean, AB165 is just as kind of a standard blackface Fender kind of circuit, isn't it? Correct.
I don't know.
I don't know about the Rev really. Derek's a friend of mine, but the Friedman Little Sister is not an AB165 circuit.
No.
It's like a little JTM 45-y kind of thing. So do you want it to be really clean?
That sound that we were listening to.
Yeah. Do you want it to be really clean, or do you want it to be like ZZ Top or something? You know what I mean? So that's hard to say. I mean, I don't have a little amp that does that like total Fender thing yet. Would like to. So I don't know enough about the Rev, so I can't really comment.
Look, me neither, and I'm only familiar with the Dirty Shirley. I mean, someone here so quite blatantly saying, not the same I know, but I've tried several Synergy modules, and the only one that has stayed regardless is the Friedman DS. I just think that it's when you play that amp, to me, it feels like home base. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's just got that vintage Marshall-y feel about it. So that's what I would go for if it was my first 20-watt head.
Yeah.
I mean, really depends on that sound you're trying to go for. You know what I mean? Like, if you want a completely clean amp that's a pedal platform, it's not that.
Looks like Mojo
it's not
has.
clean amp.
Mojotone has something?
Yeah, so 20-watt Canyon Tweed Bassman. So yeah, you could look up that. Look up the Mojotone Canyon 20-watt. Probably not too.
And that's a fully built amp. That's not a kit that you have to.
They probably have both. I think they probably do both of those.
Brad said, old neglected amps, the crustiness is accumulative, and cleaning the hell out of everything often does wonders.
True.
That is very true, Brad.
Well, so
that's the first thing you do, I always say.
I got a friend of mine, Mark, who's in Boston. This guy works for Shaw Microphones, and Dave. This is the guy. You know the story. He was the one that sent that Mike Soldano modded JMP here. Yeah, that Shay and I worked on probably 2 years ago, right? I've just kept in contact with Mark. He's just a great industry contact to have. But he picked up a one owner 1974 Super Lead, right? So through a friend of the family or whatever, someone had passed away, and the widow was looking for some help to move some of the her husband's possessions on. Mark was contacted with this about the Super Lead. So this thing still had the original slip cover on it, the original store receipt, handwritten.
Wow.
And
This is it's the cleanest one I've ever seen. This is the cleanest
right on the
metal panel I've ever seen in my life. It looks brand new.
It is unbelievable. It literally looks like it rolled out of the factory last week. But because it hadn't been turned on or used or whatever, this thing, it just oscillated instantly as soon as you just cracked the volume on. But it took no time at all, just cleaning the pots out, making sure the grounds are all secure and so on, and then it just fired up, and the thing sounds unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was scary. It's got 6550s in it, and so you know he was getting some content. I think he's going to make a video on it, but we're cleaning it, we're testing it, and then all right, let's turn it up a little bit. I mean, that thing was loud, loud, scary. And I was like, okay, no, we got to go get the power station.
Yeah, you need the power station for that.
Yeah, we're gonna need the power station.
Oh man, this room, like we did it. We had to do it, right? We had to, because of course when we first got this thing going, and we're like, okay, let's just go in the normal channel, right? Let's just take the easy option and just normal channel and just bring it up. And it's this huge, big, clean sound, It's incredible, man. We all know this, right? The plexi like that, but normal channel, if you just wind the bass out, bring the presence up.
Yeah, it's big fan round.
It's big, beautiful, And then, man, into the treble channel and just
rattling your teeth out of your head. When you have it kind of low and you just hit a chord and the bright cap is totally not in a great place yet, and it's just like
you feel it like you feel it tickling the inside of your eardrums, like you feel that little itch there, as it's happening, and then
like I got to turn it up a little more in order to get that bright cap out of there a little bit.
And then it goes from being like a shot in the ear to being like a gut punch.
It's almost so it gets so loud that you almost can't hear it anymore. It's just like this.
He's a big boy.
Oh yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah.
Fine specimen.
I literally we only had one cat left because I had an old cat that died like a year ago or something, and we'd been talking about getting another cat, and we were like a little hesitant because the cat that we have now is like not gonna like this.
Oh yeah,
not gonna like this at all. And so then I show up at the factory because I skipped a week because I had the surgery. I show up at the factory on Wednesday, and Ted, our main tech, goes, "Hey, you like cats?" I'm like, "Oh no." And he shows me a picture of 2 litters of kittens. And I'm like, "Oh, you had to show me." And my son was with me too. So you had to show me this with him here. and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go see him at least,
Yeah.
And so literally right before the show, we went to go see the cats. And we found one.
Nice.
And he's like, "Here's a box." I'm like, okay. We weren't even thinking about taking him that day, but we were just like, you know what? Okay, I'll take him. Come home. My wife's like, "You didn't, did you? You did?" Oh, she's like, so I just literally drop them off and say goodbye. I got to go do the show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like literally.
Right now. Yeah.
It's a cute little kind of semi long-haired white cat with like calico colors,
cool.
like kind of spots.
Cool.
And a like little tail. Like
I'm sure it's going to be making an appearance on Facebook pretty soon.
He or she is cute. Yeah. You just gotta, they're a little scared right away, just like because we just yanked him away from all his sisters and brothers and everything.
Yeah. It's a bit traumatic for sure.
They'll be okay. It'll be it'll all work itself out.
It always does.
I
So
think.
Warren's asking, hey guys, these shows are great. What's the recommendation for a good, not terribly expensive power amp for wet, dry, wet?
CLA 100. I think that's what it is. Hold on, let me double check that.
CLA 100. What's not expensive though? Like how much are we talking here?
I don't know what that means anymore.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what not terribly expensive means. Power station
one,
not too crazy. Kyle makes one. KSR.
CLA 100. Oh, you can get a used one on Reverb for $395.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, right?
Abitone CLA 100. It's actually made as a reference amp, but it's not a Class D amplifier, so it's got punch, and it sounds really good for a wet, dry, wet thing. It's single rack space, no fan, no nothing, and it sounds great. It's really made to power NS10s, but I've used it and it works fantastic.
Yep, that's a solid state amp, I think, which is perfectly fine for wet, dry, wet. As Shay said, if you check out what Kyle's doing at KSR, he's got a rack mount power amp, but it is, I think it's mono, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shay, so you'd need two of them.
Yeah.
The other one that I've tried, because I've the distributor for Fractal in Australia, Andrew. Hey Andrew, if you're listening, he's bringing in this red sound. I just looked him up. I couldn't remember the name. It's an Italian company, not Red 7. Red Sound, and they have some sort of hookup with Fractal. I think they're kind of like maybe like a authorized partner or something like that. But he actually lent me a couple of their rack power amps. I've got a mono 600 watt and a stereo 2x300, and I set it up at home in a wet dry wet setup just for the fun of it. Sounded great.
Are they Class D?
I'm not sure, Dave. I just
the thing is that the CLA one has punch. It's got a proper like punch to it, almost like old H&H amps did. So it works really well, and they make bigger ones too.
I thought it sounded better. I didn't kind of delve into the what it was exactly, but I have an old Matrix, the Matrix things, right? And I put it. That's what I'm used to hearing whenever I play that rig, and I thought this red sound sounded better than that Matrix.
Oh, cool! Oh, great.
So
I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, very cool.
Somebody said you should name your cat C45, Dave. It's a good name.
Yeah, we haven't quite got that far yet, but we're working on it. Well, we literally got it 30 minutes before I got here. So I'll see if the house is in one piece when I get back.
Yeah.
So Chris, hey Dave, why isn't anyone putting tubes in digital modelers, Helix, Axifix, etc.?
Yeah, right. I don't know. That is something. It's a complicated equation. Like, this is something I would love to do. But there's a lot involved with it, and there's a lot of software stuff that constantly updating, and there is a lot of tech. Man, just coming out with a modeler doesn't mean shit. You have to, the amount of tech support that you have to supply for a software-based thing that's constantly changing, and operating systems changing, and things changing, and updating. You just need a whole team just to do that. And the prices on these things just keep coming down and down and down. At some point in time, are you really making any money on any of it?
Yeah.
It's an interesting. It's interesting. Yeah.
They wouldn't be so compact, They wouldn't be so compact.
I can tell you now, you can take one of the Friedman 2 preamp pedals, and pair it with an Ampero 2 Stomp pedal, which the latest software has like program change capability to control the Friedman. And if you compare it, and if you pair it in a 4-cable method kind of thing with that, that is like hard to beat. It's like crazy. You don't need anything else because there's balance outs of the actual Ampero. So you can actually even host the IRs in the Ampero, or you can do it in the Friedman. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. You can switch a loop in and out. You can use a model out of the Ampero if you say want a Vox clean, but with the Friedman sounds too. You know, you can do all this shit. It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
and it's 2 pedals about the same size on a little board, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to beat.
Super convenient fly rig.
Yeah, super convenient fly rig. And the sounds in that Ampero is for effects are amazing.
Yeah, I've got
2290s and 2290s and all sorts of fun stuff. I remember the first time I showed the Plex, I think I had one of those doing the effects and stuff. They were, what's the effects? It sounds amazing. And I'm like, it's just that. It sounds amazing. It does sound great.
Nice.
A great editor, great everything. And also it physically is made better than a lot of products out there. Our main engineer guy looked inside of it and looked at the what they're doing. And he goes, these are the highest end converters, highest end codecs, highest end, audio components they have in here. Even the case is a cast case. And like, he goes, this isn't nothing in here is cheap. He goes, I don't even know how they sell it for what they sell it for. He goes, nothing is in here is cheap. And it's really quiet. There's not a lot of hiss on the front end, with the 4-cable thing, which some do. And really good.
And that's
which model? Are they using?
Huh?
Which model is that?
That's the cheapest one is smaller one that they have is a Hotone Ampero 2 Stomp.
Cool.
At 3-foot switches. It's the size of a Strymon pedal or something. It's not very big. It's really easy to get around on, and if you're going to use it for effects and stuff, it sounds amazing. And real tweakable, editable, really simple, all touch screen. Really not hard to use.
Nice.
It's really made well. I mean, I have
it's
nothing
a,
but good things.
It's an amp modeling.
It technically is an amp modeling device, and it does captures.
It's not a. It does captures as well.
It does captures too. Michael Nielsen has done some captures. Michael Nielsen's done a bunch of captures with him, and he was like, he goes, I think honestly, this is the best capture unit. It beats.
I wonder if it's using
it beats the neural.
The open source.
It does. I think some of it, but it beats the neural, and it's on par with the Tolex. But I mean, I was looking at it more for an effects device. I think it's a really cool effects device because they really spent a lot of time on like the effects that they modeled in it are like they're pretty boutique too. Like, there's Arion stereo chorus in there.
Yeah, nice.
If you don't know something about the things that people use that were in the boutique market, you don't know that. And 2290 and all sorts of bizarre like Barber overdrive things that were a big hit for a while, and like some weird esoteric like things that that you wouldn't normally see in a lot of those things.
Yeah,
so
it's really cheap.
It's like $500 or something, right?
Yeah, £345.
Oh, that's all it is there?
Yeah.
Not the littlest one, the 2 Stomp. Ampero 2 Stomp.
Yeah.
Three buttons across the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
And like even the bigger ones and stuff are only like £100 more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same size as like a Tolex pedal. It's got 3 switches across the bottom,
Yeah.
But it's all touchscreen. Oh yeah, it is 3. Like, I guess here in the US it's like 3. Oh wait, why is there different prices? Well, that's interesting. Here in the US it's like $500.
Yeah. Tariffs.
But that makes sense. But even for $500, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Still good value, right?
It's pretty easy to spend $500 on something now.
Yeah, really easy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, while I remember it, Shay.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't checked it out yet, Jason, Killertone, Texas, Jason Frankhauser's released his review of Shay's new amp today. Like it came out maybe 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, the Unholy Grail. So it's a 12-minute or 13-minute video, real in depth. Jason went to, I think, man, he went to like really a huge effort to put together a really killer track. Like the way he does his review videos, he'll actually do like a full playthrough song with drums and bass and the whole thing, and then he goes into actually breaking down the amplifier. So man, just want to give you a shout out on that, man. Congrats on the
I have to go check that out. Jason's awesome.
Congrats.
Did that guy is such a pro, man. He's just so easy to deal with. He's down to earth and he's great at what he does, man. So I was really thankful to work with him on that. So heck
He's got the right hand from hell. Oh my god.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll be right back.
Holy
love it.
Shit.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at that.
We've got.
Oh man, it looks killer.
We got a lot of those coming. We're gonna be paying. Yeah, we got it next week here in about 2 days or so. We're gonna be into the testing phase, so
nice.
We're gonna be playing so much guitar. If you guys want to come over, come on over.
Man, that's the best part of the job.
We need a test pilot, Dan. Come on over.
Yeah, man, it's always the best part of the job. Cranking them, I'm just
well, it is, man. And also, I think I just want to give a shout out to Warren, if Warren's listening to this. Hey, man, we had Warren and his family drove up. What would it be, 6 or 7 hours drive from Alabama?
I think it was about almost 6. Yeah, they made a 6-hour drive
up to collect an amp. So they put a pre-order in on an Alta 100, and so they drove up. His mum and dad drove him up there, and he hung out with us here in this room for probably an hour and a half. What a killer player!
Oh, he was a great guitar player.
God.
Yeah,
great guitar player.
Yeah,
and it was just a nice experience. Great family.
It's a lovely feeling, isn't it, when you make something and then the owner of it then comes to get it and tries it for the first time in front of you, and when they plug in and you see just the smile from ear to ear. Like I had the same thing. I had the same experience on Friday, and one of my customers, Ryan, came and picked up an amp that was basically like this one. It was like a complete crazy rebuild, and like he was so like psyched up when he came in the door, and like I'd got it all rigged up and everything, and he just plugged in, and the first note he played, he just burst out laughing just hysterically because he was just, he was just so over the moon.
He's like, this is ridiculous.
Like, he was just like, what the fuck? This is so great, you know. And he was just and he I tell you what, that feeling still, it never gets old. You know, it's the best feeling ever when you see that kind of satisfaction.
Oh yeah. Me and Jason were laughing after he left. We were like, yes, he had gain hands.
Gainy hands. He had gainy hands.
Yeah.
Because I had that moment, you know, like he came into the room here, and you know, it's that moment where it was like, am I going to play guitar or is he going to play guitar? You know, who's going to play?
Yeah.
You know, because often you just don't know, right? Some guys don't want to play and they'll just stand back. But he was like, he just grabbed the guitar and he goes, he just looked around at the rack of guitars that Shay's got here. I'll play that one.
Yeah.
Right from the first note, I was like, thank God. He's great.
Yeah, he's got
cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always a nice experience like that. My customer brought over a Luxtone. No, I was going to say my customer came over on Friday, brought a beautiful Luxtone. Killer thing with this, you know, super like flame neck, bullseye kind of relic body and everything. You know, I just played it a little bit and tested it out, but man, that was You know, it's another thing. It's always nice when customers come and they bring nice gear for you to try out as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
always
love
really
that.
fun. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, it's
That's
great.
cool.
What do you got behind you, Dan? Should we get to
Oh.
that point in the show?
Oh,
What's Dan got behind him?
Let's do it. So, we've got
Bit cool.
a JCM 800 with about, I don't know, got
Swiss cheese.
Yeah, like maybe like 30 odd holes in it, I guess.
Get out of there.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? It's just end to end with, and then there's switches all the way along as well, and it's like 3 channels and tube loop.
Oh yeah.
It's like between 4 and 5 gain stages. Then there's a full blown like fender clean in it. Switchable masters. So foot switchable gain stages, foot switchable masters, foot switchable gain pots, and there is something else I'm forgetting that's foot switchable. I can't remember. Something.
Is there anything left?
Yeah, there's something. But anyway,
What's on the rear panel? Dan says there's some stuff on the rear as well.
not an awful lot. External bias. You know, like a bias pot on the back, like a lock-in mil spec pot.
Okay.
Test points. Yeah, like 3 test points on the back. I used the original holes for the loop. The stock Marshall loop. I dumped the loop and did a tube loop right underneath it, like where the holes were. So I did that there. And then there's just the foot switching jacks, I think, other than that. So it's not like the back panel's not loaded, but I think it's got like 6 or 7, there's like 6 or 7 12x7s in there.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy shit.
Do you tend to use Dan? Do you tend to use a little secondary transformer for your 12-volt DC, or are you using switch mode?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, I usually put in those the little sealed. I think they're like Meanwell or something like that. Who make
Meanwhile, a Recom or something.
Yeah, you know
Recom.
the
The
ones
little bricks.
like I just drill. You just drill like 4 holes in the end of the chassis and just bolt them in, and they're like really easy to use. I mean, they're like screw lock terminals on them and stuff. So I just ferrule print the wires and put them in.
Yeah,
then that way, they're really easy to service. Should anything go wrong, there's no soldering for a tech to do. They can just literally unscrew it, put the new one in. It's like minutes worth of work. So it's not hard to replace. But I've never had one fail yet. So it's been tons and tons of amps. So they're pretty good. But yeah, there's one of those in there, and then it's just all the rest of the crazy shit. I think there's about 6 or 7 relays in there. It's like, it's crazy stuff. So and then underneath that one is just the polar opposite. Just a nice simple 4-input JCM 800.
That's a 4-holer.
Yeah, it's a 4-holer. This one apparently, when I bought it, the guy who owned it before said it was bought from Mel Galley from Whitesnake. So it's from 85 or 86, and I know that this used to be black, and obviously it lost the pigment. Like all of the ones from 85 to 86, they don't have any black pigment left in the grill cloth. So they started out black.
Yeah, it's that kind of that fawny tan color.
Yeah,
I know
because it's like a sort of a grey browny kind of thing, and you can sort of see where there's like little bits here and there inside of it, but where like obviously UV's got to it, it just loses all the black color. And this was a Super League one, and then I went through it and I basically made it a good Super Lead, because it started out as a kind of a pretty ugly, stiff Super Lead, because the B plus is all kind of too high, and
is this by this stage they'd started to reduce the number of filter caps?
Yeah, exactly. This one's got like the 3 in there. I've had a couple of them that had 5 instead of 6, but this one's got the 3. I think it's got 3 filter caps in it, and it sounded really like dry when I got it, but then I converted it and made it like a legit proper Super Lead with the right kind of voltages. Changed the filtering up on it, and I just putting like my favorite kind of caps and stuff like that in there, and just it came to life completely. It's just so much better sounding. It's like a really great ripping super lead. So I just like playing that one, and boosting the front end with like
there's
a
no
Furman or
master. There's no
something.
master on it.
Nah, I didn't bother. I just thought I just like it. I just like it flat out. It's just it's way more fun, and it's not for every day. So it's like it's just something that now and then it's just nice to plug in and just you got to kind of stand just outside the door of the room and just get out of the way a little bit, and then it's not too bad. It still hurts, and there's no amp referencing for at least 2 days after. That's the problem. You can't do anything that's like critical hearing afterwards. But yeah, it's just a great sounding one. So yeah. So
funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I could put a master volume in it, but I don't know. Exactly.
They change it. You're better off load and reamp.
Yeah, that a lot of times also I'll just stick a reactive load in the second speaker jack hole.
Yeah,
while it's already running to a cab, and that will just load the output down just enough that it takes off. It does take off a little bit. Yeah, it definitely soaks a little bit of power off of it, and it doesn't completely like neuter it. Like it's still enough to really like terrorize the neighbors, but it's like just it's not. It's still got some thumb to it, but it's just not obscene like it normally is. But yeah,
it's a good trick.
Couple of nice amps,
Awesome.
Yeah, I was pulling out amps today. It's been like really freaking hot, and I was going through like all the amps that I've got here, that like amps that I've like my own amps, and I was going. I think I went through about 9 or 10 Marshalls, pulling them out and just documenting which ones are which, because they were like kind of stored away in another room, and I don't think I touched anything in there for about 9 months, 10 months, something like that. And you just start to forget, like, oh yeah, shit, I bought that one a while ago and never plugged it in, and you start to, realize that there's actually some cool little gems sitting in there. So yeah, it's been
for sure.
Been kind of a Stocktake day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Outshined is saying Tolex ruins the tone of the cab wood. We need an option for varnished wood cabs. You ever thought about that, Dave?
I'll agree to that. I'll agree with that. Although there's been many Tolex cabs that there's been many Tolex cabs that have sounded great, but I have a pair of new cabs.
Does anyone ever ask?
Yeah. I have some new cabs here that have no Tolex on them. They're just raw, and they sound really good actually. So I think there's something to that.
Yeah, I've owned some that were unintentionally untolexed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but believe me, this Selmer back here in the corner it might become untolexed because it's so rough. So. I mean, someone literally put, even around the edges, they put some like electrical tape, black electrical tape, so it looked black. And then they actually painted over the shit.
Oh.
And I'm like, I could scrub all this off and see what it looks like when it's done. I bet it looks terrible and awesome at the same time. But yeah, that's a project amp. I don't think that's going to get done anytime soon. But
yeah,
it looks
for a rainy day.
Yeah, or someone. I need to have someone do it for me. Is what I got to do.
Well, I was going to say, this is the trouble, right? When you have your own project, it never gets done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I have a guy that works with me.
You're working on someone else's project.
I have a guy that works with me that's really good at projects like this. So I'm like, hey, how about I pay you just to do this for me?
I'll someone like that.
I'll do the finish tweaking in the end, but to get it in the relative form,
Yeah.
So I don't have time.
Need someone who can do that for us.
I got Jose amps going out.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
Didn't you want to talk about that, Jason?
Yeah.
The Jose?
I was. That's right. We're going to come all the way back to that. It's taken us an hour and a half to get back to that.
Yes.
I saw the post, Friedman Amps Instagram, the rack of Jose's with the gold end caps on the transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they at, Dave? Are they shipping or what's happening?
We sent out the first 40 notifications. So
Okay.
I don't know where that's at this point in time. I know a bunch of people that have already like bought it and like it's going to get to them next week.
Sweet.
So they're going through the wait
yeah,
list.
we decided in the end we were going to do it as it came in on the list, and there's I think 1,600 people on the list at this point.
Oh.
So now whether they all buy that or not, I'm not sure, but there's probably a good chance that at least 1,000 of those will be purchases.
Yeah. Nice numbers.
Yeah, really nice numbers.
Yeah.
You know, at maybe 40 amps at a clip. I mean, it'll take a while. I think we have more than 40 amps now sitting there, though, for sure. I think I might have tested already 100 of them or something.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then some are going to Europe.
I thought Michael's demo sounded awesome.
Yeah, Michael's demo
sounded really nice.
Yeah. Great. Just great. I mean, that's
and like I always said about this particular amp, it's not tweaked Jose mods. It's the traditional circuits.
So
it's not like extra bright cap on gain 1. There's none of that. It's just what it was. And then there, I think Misha Mansour put up a little clip on social media, and that one sounded wicked.
Yeah, good.
It's like an iPhone, and he goes, "No, I was going straight into the amp, into a Sur load, and this IR, and that's it."
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Straight into the amp." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That circuit
has a lot of gain.
Sound bad, you know. Let's be honest. It's a great sounding circuit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great sounding circuit. I mean, you know.
I mean, this is the thing we all have in common, right? That's that sound, man. It's like
yeah, but I mean,
I did notice, Dave.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, on the Instagram post when I zoomed in because I could see some writing on the side of one of the amps. And you got the blue masking tape, and it said this amp from M. Nielsen.
Oh yeah! Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I picked out for him.
It's in your handwriting.
Yeah. That's the one I picked out. Because when you test a bunch and you're like, okay, someone's got to do a video. Which one of these ones vibed me the best? You know, which one?
Yeah.
Because they're all real consistent, but there's always one that sounds a little juicier or a little something, you know, just tubes and stuff.
True.
You know,
so true, man.
Just tubes and stuff. And you're like,
bit of gold dust.
I think this one sounded good. Yeah. I think I changed that sticker though. I moved it from as I tested the rest of the day. I moved it to 3 different amps because I was like, I think this one I just tested was even better.
Yeah.
You probably go back to the first one and go, oh, hang on, first one.
I actually any of them would have been fine. It would have been just perfectly fine. So. But yeah, those have come out really well.
Cool. I think that amp has been announced, designed, announced, built, and shipped inside the time frame that Marshall still haven't shipped the modified.
Yeah, I mean we announced that literally just made NAMM.
Yeah.
So that was end of January.
Well, that was near the time when we first started doing these amp panel shows, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I literally finished the first one for NAMM.
Yeah.
And then we're shipping them now. So.
Awesome.
This was the one day where we had one of these shows. That's right, the very next day, and you built the first prototype using those PR metal film.
Oh fuck!
Resistors.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good conversation.
And those got all yanked out of the amp.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like how they sounded. And they just sounded bright and harsh and weird. And it was just like, it's not right.
Yeah.
I put normal carbon film resistors in. It was just like, there we go.
You just can't go wrong with those carbons, man.
I don't think you can.
I agree, man.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I like carbon films. I usually get the carbon films from like RS, I think it is. They're like 2-watt carbon films. They're the same size as the 1-watt ones, but they're just 2 watts. So the resistor noise is a little bit less on them than say a 1 watt or a half watt. But they're great. I mean, and the other thing is when you're populating boards that are spaced for those, if you use those the PRO2s, that you can't like bend them close to the body because they're too short. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're loading up Marshall PCBs, you know, and you bend the resistor leg, you have to kind of leave a little bit of leg and then bend it. And it's kind of, you're always like fucking around with it with those.
I mean, I use the PR.
I hate that.
I mean, I use the PR02s for B plus resistor.
Yeah, I use them for a bunch of stuff, but like I'm
droppers.
Like, yeah,
but I didn't like them in the circuit, so I was like,
they're a bit fussy, you know, as well, like because obviously like then if you whatever caps you use, like if you use ceramics or silver micas and stuff like that, that also adds to that whole equation because they're affecting the high end too, so you can double up on that kind of hashiness if you're not careful. So you know, I'm always like, I've got like specific recipes that I'll go to if I'm using those resistors, and then slightly different if I use carbon. So it's like it compensates in some way, or it just sits right. But they're great for B plus dropping as well. I mean, even the small ones, the little like 2-watt ones, they're totally tough. Yeah, I've pushed way too much through some of those, and they've not slowed down. I
have had maybe a handful of amps that came back that had just a failed 3-watt PR resistor. It just opened. No really? Heat, no nothing, just open.
So what, like probably just like a bad batch or something. It's got to be.
Must have been defective, but I've had maybe 5 resistors happen.
There's got to be a bad
I had
batch.
One, Dave.
You had one too?
Friend, it was the Plex. It was Richard.
Yeah, that was the Plex. Yeah, it was just open. I had I think another 2 Plexes and then one other amp. I think maybe. It wasn't that much on the scope of how many we actually use. It wasn't that much, but now I'm like keeping an eye on them.
Yeah, I'm curious. Where in the circuit was that used? The one that
just one of the main droppers. So like
it was like the second B plus.
Yeah, like you know the one where in like a Marshall you double
phase inverter.
Yeah, the one that's feeding the phase inverter.
PI. Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's feeding. No, it was the doubled up ones feeding the PI. But there's not a lot of current there, so
no, exactly.
They weren't stressed.
I've not had any fail there, but I'm using the O3s. Is that the O2s you were using or O3s?
O3s.
Okay, interesting.
I think honestly, there was no heat, there was no nothing.
Bad batch, doesn't it?
I think it was just a bad batch or a bad resistor.
It's got to be.
I mean, there was no sign of anything weird, right? It was just dead, right, Jason?
It looked completely normal.
Perfectly normal.
No sign of any kind of.
Well, there's no current being drawn there anyway. There's no current being drawn across that resistor there, really.
No, it's really
hardly anything.
Yeah.
You know? And it was one of those.
That always concerns me when I see that because I'm like, ugh. Okay. But I haven't had a lot of it.
I checked the voltages. Like this amp just obviously didn't make any sound, right? So you start your troubleshooting.
Yeah. There's voltage here.
There's
voltage here. Like, there's no voltage there.
There's no voltage on V1 or V2. Right? It's like, what?
Okay, well, we know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to use the restroom.
Here you go, Shay. Stormlight Architect. I don't know if it's been said, but the Unholy Grail sounds great. Kilatones Texas has a demo up today, so congrats, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm stoked. It sounds great. Man, if you do listen to that, what he posted, that track that he made was sick. I think it was like a perfect track for that amp.
I'm gonna have to blast that in the morning.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're at the good part now, so I'm going to be shipping out, I think 8 or 9 within within June, and then a little bit more in July. So it's always good once they start actually getting to the guys, and then the guys start posting clips. So
yeah, absolutely. At that
lots
point,
of good stuff to come.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, also the customers are sharing stuff online and posting clips, and it kind of promotes itself at that point, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
You know, you need that initial push to get it started, but once it starts rolling, then it's does the work on its own.
Yeah.
But it looks so cool though. The whole cosmetic on it, everything on that is just wicked.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought a laser engraver. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I saw in your Instagram stories a few times. Yeah.
I bought that last year. Just kind of as like a prototyping thing. But then I'm like, wow, you can just totally make production stuff on this. But it's really time consuming. So, you know, I think we'll see how much I use it in the future. But pretty cool to have, you know.
Yeah, it must have
it's certainly cool that laser's been super helpful, man. Like
we've made so much stuff on it.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Like in terms of trying to do production level quantities with it, it just soaks up a lot of time, doesn't it? You know, it's better to kind of use it for prototyping. I think is the way to go.
Good for logos and stuff, but like the face plates that are that 25 inches long, probably use commercial places for that, you know.
Yeah. Do they take a long time to actually be engraved?
Yeah, they take a long time. I mean, you run a sheet, it's like half a damn day, and then you don't want to walk away from it. That's my problem. Is like it caught on fire one time. Like a piece of plastic went out, and I'm like, I went out there and it's on fire, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So you really have to be there with it while it's running. So I'll use it for small stuff.
Yeah.
And there's the whole ventilation thing that comes with it, you know, because like you're burning plastic, man. It's like,
oh yeah, that's great for you.
Toxic.
Smells bad.
As if we
do not want to
breathe
inhale
in enough shit. Like,
we're already breathing in enough shit, probably.
Exactly, man.
Probably gonna kill us, all of it, all of us.
Yeah. Do you guys have ventilation systems for soldering?
I don't.
Yeah,
I do.
There's one above Jason.
I have a big room
I did
now.
more recently. I set up. I got like the whole. What's the company? Metcal. They make the under table system where it's got like the whole 3-stage filter thing and the big active gas bed at the bottom.
Oh, cool.
It's like a big pipe that sits. It just comes up the back of your desk and then sits over your work and it sucks the
sounds
fumes.
really similar to what I've got, Dan.
It's a godsend.
I got a big unit. Looks like a big kind of like an air conditioning unit almost, and it's actually got 2 feeds on it.
That's it. It's
so
almost the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got it set up between. So I've got 2 workbenches, and I've got this thing in the middle, so that it fans off both sides. And it's great. Like I don't always.
It's too late for me.
Turn it on. Yeah, well, I
get told off. I get told off at home. Like, you got to turn that thing on, because Catherine walks past and she's like,
they're a bit annoying because they're a bit noisy and everything. But like,
they are a bit noisy.
The difference is though, if you're if you have like allergy problems and stuff like that already, and then you're breathing in solder fumes all day, it's the flux. It's just all the shit in the flux that gets your nose and your throat. And since I started using one, like if I forget to use it, I know that I've forgotten to use it pretty quick. Yeah. So it does make a difference. But like they're kind of pricey though. I mean, you can spend like £1,000 on one, just getting a system set up.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I did it like half. It was half of that for me. I think it was about 500 all in. But yeah, hopefully it will last a good few years.
It's good for you, man.
And it kind of makes you feel kind of like you're doing the right thing as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely works.
Yeah.
Right. Yagi. Hey Jason, any chance you can share an additional clue about your upcoming product? Have a pretty good guess. Yeah, I've talked about this.
Hasn't he given enough guesses?
Yeah. Okay, I'll just say it real quick. It's a single rack space, MIDI control tube pre with a digital back end. That's what it is. And
Awesome.
I don't know exactly when it's going to be released. But
What do you mean by
sincerely
digital back end?
Well, it's got power amps and cab loaders and crap like that.
Oh, IRs and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. You must be using 2 notes board.
Yeah. We've talked about this. I've talked about this.
Yes, we have.
So
of course, I barely remember, but
yeah. Yeah. So, and those guys have been great. Actually, I've got to take my hat off to the guys at 2 Notes. They've been awesome to work with.
Killer.
So I've got the second prototype running. Look, I don't know when it's going to be released, guys, but it should be this calendar year. Don't know exactly when.
More stuff for you to do.
I know. It's just like, with this build run, once this is done, I'm getting back onto that. There's only one of me. This is a problem, right? I go, you guys know the same thing, but it's like, I need more of me.
I need 5 of me.
Yeah.
Say the amount of stuff that sits for quite a long period of time here, on things that I need, and this is just like modified things or service things, and it's just like, fuck, that amp's been here really a long time. I gotta do this, and like some things you get done quick, and then some things that were more complicated, you push a little bit, and then before you know it, it's like, oh my God, that's been here for so long. I got to do this. I can't.
We're all guilty of it. It happens, You just end when you're like buried in work. Sometimes, shit happens. You end up focusing on something else, and then something else comes up in the meantime and catches your attention, and you're just bouncing between jobs. You kind of got an aim of what you want to get done in that time, but other things do pop up, and shit happens, unfortunately.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, mate.
Beer delivery.
The beer delivery.
Yeah, I didn't even have to ask.
Well, let's use the term beer real loosely with that one.
Cold beverage.
I mean,
is it not whiskey o'clock yet? I've already been hitting the whiskey.
I don't have any more tequila, so I can't do that. So I'm fucking done. So all I got is beer. But I've almost done the 4-pack of these. So
I don't get it. I've got whiskey here. Why not?
If you could pour it through the screen, it would be useful.
Yeah, that's right. When's that going to happen?
I have other whiskey here. I could get.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you got.
We have a nice Japanese whiskey, and we have a Scotch that's sitting here.
Very nice. Funny thing is, I hardly ever drink. It's only when I'm on here I'm drinking, really.
Yeah.
Then you're always drinking.
I don't totally believe that.
This is not your normal Sunday night, Dan? You're just normally sitting there drinking by yourself at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday?
Yeah, no. I'll drink when I've got company, but not usually on my own. So, yeah. So, but it's great then.
Same goes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you do get a drink, then you're just totally fucking tanked on one beer. It's great.
It's like people are like, "Is Dave an alcoholic?" I go, "No," because half the time I don't drink at all. Yeah. Like I might be 2 weeks and then I'll have drinks. Maybe I'll have a lot of drinks on the show. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll go out with friends and have drinks. I don't know.
Go 2 weeks without it, then you have to make up for the 2 weeks you missed.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I did 2 weeks before Jason got here. I'm like, I'm not having a single beer for a couple weeks. And then he gets here. And then I'll do the same after he leaves.
Yeah. So then you were catching up while he's here.
Yeah.
He has.
We'll go 2 weeks clean when he leaves.
Yeah. Detox.
Man, this is like these.
See, what I don't get about the beer you're drinking, though, is you don't really get much out of it. It's just like you can't. I don't know. I could drink a fucking case of that and it would never get drunk.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
they don't.
Like, I'd rather drink a few beers and get drunk than drink 24 of that. Excuse me. Rough cut.
One thing I can say about this stuff, because it is pretty, it's pretty light. It's not hangover.
No.
That's because there's no nothing in it.
Correct.
I missed the point of the.
Well, when you got to work the next day, this is quite a good option when you've actually got to get in the workshop.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
Try and
Sure.
be productive,
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Easy recovery.
I mean,
Yeah.
this German
Yeah.
Pilsner is relatively light, but it has flavor.
Yeah. In Slovenia, there's this local wine that's produced in one region of the country, and I swear to God, you can absolutely get hammered on this stuff, and you wake up the next day, no hangover whatsoever, nothing.
Blasphemy.
But, yeah,
So that's what you're doing.
It's-
That's what you're doing soon, right?
yeah, without doubt.
on vacation, that's what you're going to be doing.
Oh yeah,
Good for
all
you.
the food, all the drink.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
All right, who's coming to
We've got a
NAM?
super chat here.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
shit.
Come on.
Oh yeah, okay. Well,
You guys come to NAM.
About that next. All right. Yeah, I think it's an option, Dave.
I think you guys
I
should
don't
come
want
to
to.
NAM.
I don't want to exhibit. My thoughts on NAM in 26 would be
You might be able to
potentially-
place an amp though with someone,
you got any
guitar vendor or something, or you might be able to place
Yeah.
something somewhere.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the way to do it.
I will say that the
free
timeline
wine.
looks good for Jason. I mean, what it's 6-7 months from now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
His timeline looks good.
we'll have fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
We'll need to
We'll
take
drink-
2 months off
we'll
after
drink
that.
some-
yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be drinking after.
Yeah.
You'll be done.
You're
not going to be
rehab
drinking.
afterwards.
Yeah, you're gonna give me some real beer. Damn it.
Not the way we did the tequila bar last time. Oh my god! And there's no
Yeah.
reason that we won't do the same this time.
Yeah.
I remember our little boy genius Leonardo, who did all the IRX designs and stuff. All the IR stuff and all those things. He's like,
Yeah.
he's a very young Italian guy from Italy, and it's like, you like to drink, don't you? He was going with the tequila. He got really into it. He's like, I never really had tequila. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, it could have been dangerous.
It could be
Yeah,
dangerous, but we had really, really expensive good tequila. So you could get completely shit faced on it and wake up the next day and you're like, I'm good. Because there's no sugar, there's no nothing, it's like you're fine. Compound that by 3 or 4 days, and then you're like, I never want to see this shit again.
yeah. You're gonna piss out a
This is
kidney or
back to the.
something.
I never want to see an amp or play a guitar ever again.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We've talked
Just
about that
true.
before.
Yeah.
But
Then we go to
anyway,
the one,
Yeah, no,
one favorite Thai restaurant we go to like 2 or 3 times during the whole stay.
Yeah,
Why? Because we always have fun there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thai's good too.
I think it.
Great.
I think we have to do it. It's going to be mandatory, isn't it? It's going to be a NAM visit at some point.
You should do it.
I got a couple of super chats here. I better hit these. T-Top's back again. Hey man, Dave, is the Richard Fortis amp still a thing?
Well, I don't know. The problem is the Jose amp really kind of covers it, and Richard at the moment has one on tour. So
All right.
that's what he's currently using. So, but he uses it way less gain than you'd ever imagine.
You said that.
I mean, like crazy less gain,
That doesn't surprise me.
and makes it sound amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably running it super loud, right?
He's running it loud, yeah, but like we had to take the on the volume 1, you know, the standard super lead volume 1 on a Jose. We had to take the bright cap off because he needed to be able to pull the gain back more. On that volume in order to get where he wanted. And with the big bright cap, it was just full tilt, pretty much the whole time.
I mean, that's a nice sound though. It works really nicely. I did that on a Jose recently for someone. Exactly that same thing. And it is nice to be able to switch that out and just
you just pull it back a little bit then, and you can just dial it in where it's less gain. Because he wasn't using a lot of gain. He was using the hollow bodies, and it was loud.
Yeah.
And it sounds perfect for what he was doing. You know, it sounded perfect.
Yeah, it does work really nicely.
Yeah. At first, I didn't think it was going to work for him. And then I'm like, okay, do this. I had him do it. Open the amp up. See that blue cap there? Cut it out.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to pull that volume back and get the amount of gain you want then. Because it's just full tilt right now. So you're not.
Yeah. It comes on so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just binary, right? It's either on or off.
Yeah.
It's pretty much on or off.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've got another super chat here. What's the panel's opinion of the 2 Notes Reload 2? Is it missing anything? Can I just use a short reactive load and the Hotone CLA 100 and get there? Dave, you're across this the 2 Notes Reload 2.
The Reload 2 sounds amazing. The Sir, sometimes I don't love the load that much. I think the load actually, sonically for me, I think the load in the Reload sounds better. Is the CLA 100 better than the power amp in the Reload is the question. And it might be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is kind of would the reactive load into the CLA 100, which I've never done actually, would it be cool? Might be. CLA is cool. But all in all, I mean, I think that the 2 Notes Reload sounds amazing. It sounds very transparent and really good. It is a Class D power amp, so there's a little. Class D power amp lacks just a little punch, like compared to like what the CLA is. So I don't know. Funny, we were just playing with this like yesterday. Our guy Leonardo was here, and we were messing with stuff. We were messing with loading techniques and a new power amp design and all sorts of things, and we were like, oh. Look at that. That sounds good. Can't tell you what it is, but
cool.
Dave, what do you think of the load in the Captor X?
That really isn't a great load.
Not into it. The white one.
I think
it can get decent results.
Yeah.
But it's not a great load. It's not like a true curve.
And you're talking the white one, the Captor X, not the original Captor.
Yeah, the Captor X. Yeah,
it's the same load.
So I've done some because I've got one of those Captor X's, Dan, and I've played with the Sir. If you use the Sir reactive load with the Captor X torpedo digital part of it, that's actually a great combo because the reactive load, as Dave said, right, and the Captor X, kind of sounds a bit boxy, but I think I don't really know, but I'm assuming that in this 2 Notes Reload 2, it's a completely different reactive load.
Completely different reactive load.
It seems that way.
It's a proper curve that they chose, a curve that they chose. I think they showed it somewhere because they had Celestion approve the curve.
Yeah, that's what I heard about it. Yeah.
But it's all a kind of a moving target a little bit because theoretically, if you have a reactive load with a certain curve, which you could have proper curves, but slightly different depending on what's the target load that you're going after. So is it that Greenback 4x12? Is it that Vintage 30 4x12? They each have different load curves. Is it an EV or is it a whatever? There'll be different load curves. But then what power amp is that going into? So theoretically, you want a neutral power amp that's not really coloring much if you have the curve that's there already.
Yeah.
So, but it's all a moving target a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this load curve was off a 2x12 cabinet. Maybe that's not the ideal thing. So then what power amp sounds best with that load into your 4x12? I don't know. You have to decide that.
Yeah.
The same thing with the SIR. I'm sure the SIR load is proper. It's a very safe load. It's done properly.
Yeah, I've got both of them. I've got the Captor X and I've got the SIR, and
sounds
they're
a
nice.
little furry.
Yeah,
on the top end, a little scooped maybe at times.
Yeah,
like the low end's a little loose and the top end's kind of high, and it's a little furry sounding.
Yeah.
The newer one with the high end shelf on it, on the top end side, on the newer load, is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Is that perfect? I don't think it's perfect, but for my taste right now, the 2 Notes Reload 2 is probably the best load I've heard.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Now, is it the best power amp in the Reload 2? Probably not. So,
yeah.
Does it sound really good? Yes. Do you get good results with it? Yes.
I suppose it comes down to the application you're going to use it for. If you're going to be,
I get really, really crazy with all this where most people don't hear things that some of the stuff I hear, but it's like, I get kind of really, I don't know if there's anything right, if anything's perfect, it's all, and it's just like, Jason, when you did load things and you did a video and you did loads with direct recording, right? So the Fryette's a good load. It's a proper curve, but it's a chosen different curve. But into its power section as a whole together, it works great.
Exactly.
So
they're made for each other,
it's like they're kind of made for each other. So it's all dependent on what's the goal here.
One thing about the 2 Notes Reload 2, it's stereo, right? The stereo power.
It's stereo.
So
it's pretty cool.
It's quite flexible in terms of you could use it for a wet dry wet rig, just for the power amp if you wanted to. So
it's pretty good.
It depends. Doesn't it?
It all depends. Yeah.
It depends.
There we go.
Had to come eventually.
Sorry if that's a wishy-washy answer, but I honestly, like if what you're talking about doing, I think maybe the 2 Notes Reload 2 would be good for you.
Yeah. All right. I've got a question here for Dan. I'm going to pass it to you guys because I need to go to the bathroom real quickly.
So do I.
Go for it. Dan, do you do mods for people in the USA?
Now he's going to come through here and say hi to me. But
yes, I absolutely, definitely do mods for the guys in the USA. For a while, it was mostly USA people that I was doing work for. So, but yeah, always happy to do it. Typically, the best way to go about it is if I source the amp for you. Usually, I already do that, and I always keep lots of amps in stock. So at any given time, I might have a stock of like 5 to 10 different amps to kind of pick from, varying from like vintage examples to reissues and like anything in between, really. So yeah, that's the best way to do it, because otherwise, if you send stuff to me, obviously you've got to pay like a shit ton of money in shipping costs, and then there's big taxes when it lands in the UK. And yeah, I've had a few people send stuff to me without actually checking about that first, and there's been huge bills to pay, when it gets through the border. So it's best to just avoid all that stuff. I take care of sourcing it, and then it's here. You don't have to worry about it. I mod it, and when it's ready, you just pay up and I ship it. So
what's your current turnaround right now, Dan?
10 months.
See, that's the question. What's your turnaround right now?
At the moment, I mean, really, at this point, I'm pretty much like booked up right through to next year. But
Damn.
I can usually then try and occasionally then I'll fit in other jobs wherever I'll find gaps in there where I can fit things in, where possible. And I usually end up doing that, and I end up completely stressing myself out. I end up taking on more than I should, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that as well. And it's like, no, I really can't, because then I lose my weekend, and then I'm trashed for a week. But it's so yeah. Also depends if anyone cancels as well. Like sometimes you have someone lined up for something, and then they just completely just go quiet on you, and that's kind of shitty because then you're asking around for the next person to jump in, and it's a pain. So
do you get a lot of business from the EU, Dan? Like
a
lot of stuff. Do you get a lot of stuff coming from the EU?
Yeah,
well?
But while you guys were away, I was saying that basically now I prefer to source the amps myself, and at any given time I might have like 5 or 10 donor amps that I keep in stock. I just buy good stuff, and I buy stuff that I like to work on, and then that way, I'll pick things like 800s, JMPs, Super Lead reissues, all kinds of stuff. But I usually buy stuff that's like in good condition, and it's it's everything's
this
good,
way. You know what your starting point.
Yeah,
you know what your starting point is, right? There's nothing worse than getting sent an amp that's been modded already.
Yeah,
it's like
not fun. Yeah, I mean, because
it's a lot of fun. What are you talking about?
it really depends on what mod was in it,
I've tried to implement this. I've tried to implement this novel approach. Let's get the amp healthy and working in its form that it's in right now before we mod it.
Yeah.
So we don't have surprises after we're done modding, and you're like going,
Yep. Yeah, totally. That's the same for me. I want it fully 100% healthy. And there's been even there's many times where if someone's saying to me, oh, the amp's got a fault at the moment, I'm just like, you know what, just go get it repaired and then send it to me, because the cost I'm gonna charge you for the repair is gonna be double what the repair guy is gonna charge.
Yeah, but the repair guy was not gonna fix it right to begin with.
He might not, but at least if it works and makes sound, I mean, we're off to a reasonably good start. I've had stuff turn up and there's wires hanging out of the thing.
The majority of repair guys I run into are just like complete. I'm sorry, they're complete idiots.
There are a ton of hacks. Yeah, there are.
I mean, like the questions I'll get in my email about something, and I'm like going, I'll tell you what it is. I'll just tell you what it is. What's wrong with it right now? I can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's not that. And no, I already looked at that. The pots are fine. This is fine. No, I'm telling you, all you got to do is clean the pots.
Yeah.
No, the pots are fine. They measure fine. I'm telling you, all you have to do is clean the pots. And they go all about all this other shit. And I'm like going, in the end, they just needed to clean the pots.
Yeah.
Like, we have these issues with alpha pots. So I've mentioned before, and they'll just shunt to ground or shunt, and all signal will be lost and it won't work. And you wash them out really thoroughly.
These are the emails you get, Dave. These are the emails you get that normally start with, "Can you send me a schematic, please?" Like,
yes, exactly. And I'm like, what's the issue with the amp? What's the issue with the amp?
I get the same thing frequently, and it's
okay,
I'm happy to help wherever possible, but most of the time I already have a good idea of what the problem is.
Yeah,
and I'll normally
you don't need a schematic to troubleshoot, man.
No, you don't need a schematic to. If you've got the knowledge there, you can usually figure this stuff out pretty quick without schematic.
Exactly.
Well, that's why when they tell me, it's like, which amp is it? Okay, it's that amp. Okay, well, it's either this, or this.
Yeah.
And I guarantee it's either this, or this, because nothing else goes wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that that's the deal.
This is the thing. It's like, this is why it's good to have friends who are amp guys like in different parts of the world, because like I know if something goes wrong with one of my customers' ones, I can send them to any one of you guys, and I know that you'll actually like get it straight away. It's like really quick for you to figure
We don't
it
need
out.
a schematic. We just it was just like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, there's no voltage in the first tube. Okay, well that's the reason. That's why it's all. That's simple.
Exactly.
You know, it's
well,
like
this is this network, right? I mean, it reminds me of that question we got way at the beginning of the chat, which was the guy saying that as he's learning things, he's been more inclined to not share information. But you know, you build up this network, right? If you're prepared to kind of share a bit and give and take, you build up this network of like-minded people that can help. And when you're in some part of the world and you're trying to ship and sell amps in another part of the world, you need that.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. It's great to have that.
You need these trusted people that you can call on for help.
Yeah.
If you ever need it, you know. It's a bit like Luca from Red 7. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so Luca, I've never met Luca in person, but we've spoken a bunch.
Oh, he's
video
a
calls and stuff like that. Yeah, and he had a very small issue with an effects loop on one of the amps in Australia. I was very happy to help him out.
I've done the same.
Did the work on it.
Brian Karstens, I've repaired like 2 of his amps. That he just have the guy bring it by. I'll just take care of it. He's like, okay, well, let me know how much you charge, and they were easy things. I was like, nah, nothing. It's fine. But then when one of mine comes across his desk, then he reciprocates with the favor, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And if it's easy, I mean, if it's more complicated, I'll pay him, of course. But you know, but if it's like, you know, oh yeah, the silver mica treble cap in your amp was making noise, I can change that in 5 seconds. Okay, it's fixed. There we go, done. You know,
and most repairs are usually pretty easy. They're pretty mostly right.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, vast majority of things that happen more often, you know, the more common things, you kind of just figure out like straight away, like just from symptoms alone, you can pretty much kind of already think there's like, okay, there's a few things that could be. You check them. Usually
dirty loop
one of those
jacks.
things. Yeah, it's like, you know, simple stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, it's also like, Dave, like when you've sent guys to me with your amps to do some upgrades, you know, like some of the factory mods and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know that I already get it, like how to do those things. Like, I could do it, like, you know, no problem at all. Like, and it will be like if you were to do them or something like that. And if you have like a repair guy do that kind of thing who's never really done like mod work,
I know,
they have no fucking clue about how to.
No, and you have to walk them through it, and it takes so much of your time to try to walk them through it to do it. And you know, it's like I'll be like, just add another master and parallel them together, and then switch between them, and okay, great, done.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and then switch the SAT circuit in and out. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly, because it's stuff that, you know, I'm doing as well with my stuff, so it's already familiar circuits. But yeah, for guys who don't do that, I mean, it's like you're talking a different language.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exhausting.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say this just before we hop off the when we were talking. I don't know if it was the last time we did this or the time before, but we talked about cleaning pots, right? And it was cool. So, you know, when we had this one here that Jason had, and I had mentioned, so they make the deoxit. Is that what it's called? Deoxit, the spray.
Yep.
And I'll use that, but it's
74 super lead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason got to see it in action. I was like, dude, this stuff works good, but it doesn't always work 100% of the time. And they make a gel. They make a red gel and like a gold gel. That's like a contact enhancer, I think is what it's called. It's real small.
Yeah.
And we put that in there. So we went through and sprayed. Still had a couple of issues. Used the gel. Boom.
Mid pot was, at that gel. Yeah, that man, it fixed it.
Generally speaking, I've been using Well, the pot issues that I've had are new pots, and that's a different issue. That's an alpha problem that we've had, where they just, just say, you just need to literally douche them out. You need to you need to hold the amp up on end, and you need to spray the pots till it's pouring out of the pots.
Yeah,
makes a mess all over your bench. You wipe it up, that evaporates. But I use that WD-40 Specialist contact cleaner. That stuff works fantastic.
Yeah, it's cheap,
but then
a
lot of times I'll go back and hit the pots with the fader deoxit, just one, like a drop in each pot when I'm done with that other stuff. Just it adds a little lubrication in there, and it just kind of things. So that's my general thing. And generally, the WD-40 for some reason works better than most, and I don't know why. But it generally gets that shit out of there. It's good.
It's all. In fact, you know what? If if you just go spraying it, if you just go spraying it in pots just randomly, like you can end up like draining out the lubrication too much with that stuff. You know, so it is good. Like if you've got the fader lube to drop back in there, even like the tiniest drop of it just is enough. But it's great stuff, and it's really cheap. It's like £5 a can or £6 a can.
Yeah, it's like it's $7 $8 here.
Right.
Yeah, and it works better. And with the alpha pot problem, which we think has to do with the grease getting onto the carbon track and causing issues.
Is it heavy grease in those pots?
Kind of. At least we think that's what it is. I talked to another tech that seemed to think it was some sort of contaminant in the pot. It was, at first we were thinking it was tin whiskers, but in the end we didn't think that. It's some sort of contaminant that gets in on the traces in there. And especially if an amp sits a while, then it'll do it. If you wash it out, it fixes all the issues. And then hit it with the fader thing, and generally that they're good for a long time. I'm not saying it can't happen again, but
goes a long way.
But yeah, it works. So any amp that comes in for repair now, that's one of mine at least that has the alpha pots, I go on and just do all of that stuff just because it's clean all the stuff, clean all the jacks, clean the loop jacks, because those can become dirty and not normal, and people don't know how to look at this stuff. They don't know how to troubleshoot it themselves.
Yeah, you got to eliminate those things first, you know.
They make a cool little kit. Comes in a little. It comes with a couple different kinds of contact enhancers, and then it comes with the specialized not Q-tips, but the tools to really clean out the jacks really good. And it's not very expensive. That's great to have.
Yeah.
You know what, Dave? Did you ever?
We've switched pots stuff.
Yeah. Dave, did you ever over the years come across a? It was like a jack socket cleaning plug.
I have seen that somewhere, but I never owned one or anything.
I wondered maybe if you'd have had experience with one over the years.
No, but I know
years ago I saw one, and it looks like a jack plug, and it's obviously like a bit oversized, and it's got like a sort of like almost like a sandpaper grit around it.
Yeah.
And
great idea.
I mean, it's a brilliant idea, but I looked everywhere. I couldn't find anyone that makes one.
I remember seeing one once, but I've never saw it again. I would have bought it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant idea. I mean,
yeah,
something like that would be a great seller.
Yeah, for sure.
Just looking through the chat here, Brad. I like this one. People that say their job isn't urgent and then they start calling in a week and nagging. This is always the way, right? Oh no, it's no hurry.
Yeah, exactly. And the next day they call you.
Yeah. Just checking in, man. How's it going? Like, what? Yeah. You were just here last week. Someone's asking here, Dan, about when you put relay switching into your mods. How do you handling that? How are you mounting the relays and all that stuff?
So usually what I'll do, it depends how much space I've got where I'm putting the relays in. If it's really, really tight for space, the relay's going on its back. It's having, I've got this really crazy strong double-sided adhesive that goes, and it will be either on the chassis or it will be on the board.
Yep.
And then I'll, wire it up from there. But like many times, if there's enough room for it, I've got some of the little like PCBs that your relay goes into, and it's got like, it's a little breakout board for the thing. I think I got them from wasn't Tube Amp Doctor. It was the
not Modulus.
No, it was I think it was Tube Town in Germany. They're another.
Dirk. Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, they've got another DIY, like a whole DIY.
Those good store, really good store.
Yeah, and they've got some little like like little relay PCBs that you can just basically solder your relay to, and they've got mounting holes. So if you've got some standoffs, you can just like measure the holes, drill, sit them on some standoffs, and wire it up, and it's all good. So like on that one there, I had like 2 spaces right near a preamp tube that I've added away from the board, and they're on those little PCBs, and they're on standoffs, and everything's just wired to and from. And then usually on the circuit board, I won't put them on standoffs on the board. I'll usually mount them with this really good double-sided tape. It's got like this one that I've been using for a while. It just doesn't come loose.
Dead bug.
So
were you just talking about that, Jason? Dead bug.
Dead bugging. Dead bug. That's what Brad. So Brad.
Well, you can also put a PCB on it and then dead bucket still, where you glue it to the board.
That's it.
Or the PCB was on top, you can solder to it better.
That's what I usually do. I just like basically like lay it on its back, stick it down on the board, and then wire to that, and it's just convenient. You don't end up then overheating the relay pins and stuff, which is great. So in the past, many times I have just gone straight to the pins, and done it that way, and it's okay. It works. It's not a problem. I've never had any issues, but I guess it's just nicer presentation when it's done on a little PCB and mounted there. And then like there's a couple of places in some amps where I'll put the relay on the back of the pots. It's okay.
I've done that too.
It's held in place. It's secure. There's usually hardwired resistors or things like that that are going to and from it either side. So it's like
crazy glue is your friend.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. I'll use glue, or I'll stick some RTV silicone in there, and it's all good. So
dude, I've got a bunch of little relay boards and stuff like that. I'll send you a bunch, man. I've got some little boards that I did with Dave for mounting those Recom power supplies as well. The top off DC stuff.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll message you afterwards, man.
Mate, that'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to use those. It's great.
Just another option,
I use those all the time. When you sent the Recon boards and you sent the extra relay boards, I'm like, oh, cool. I was out of the other one, so okay, cool.
Yeah.
we had made some years
more
ago
as well,
too.
Dave. I'll send you some more.
I'm good right now. Still, still got plenty.
Everyone's stocking out there.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Alex is here, man.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, man.
Shay, actually, we were talking about you today, Alex, with Shay. Shay said, "Oh man, have you seen Alex lately?" I was like, "Yeah, spoke to you a couple of weeks ago. I hope you're doing great, man. I know you've been a little bit unwell, so I hope you're doing great." Freaks for Rise Richwood says, "Wait, what? How long are you in the States, Jason? Indiana has Jack in the Box."
Yes, it does.
Indeed.
About an hour drive to get to one from here.
Right. I don't think I've ever had Jack in the Box.
It's not worth driving an hour for.
It's not. Is it? How does it compare to In and Out, Dave?
Oh, In and Out's way better.
I've done that. Well, we went to Texas Roadhouse. We went there.
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse is pretty. That's rocking.
We actually went to when I picked up Jason last week. I stopped at my friend owns a butcher shop up in Indianapolis,
Mhm.
and I stopped up there and I got a bunch of really, really great steaks and stuff. So we ate good all week. We had a good time grilling out.
How was the young guy that served us at Texas Roadhouse, Joe?
Oh yeah, he was cool. It's so funny because you can't take Jason anywhere. Like, it's like as soon as he starts talking, they go, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" He goes to the accent.
Yeah, it's not.
And in California, no one even pays any attention.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Not a real.
There's so many accents and so many different people from different places. It's like no one gives a flying rat's ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny experience. Where are we at here? I'm just trying to find.
But no, so yeah, you're heading out on next.
Oh yeah.
Saturday,
so
right?
I'm here till Saturday, guys. We've got 5 more clear days, and
Wow, you got a lot of time there.
yeah. Well, I got a lot
of time in Indiana.
Work, man.
We have fun.
Done. So, man, we just climbed into it right from by the time I got here, it would have been 7 p.m. on Monday. Just been. But Tuesday morning, straight in the workshop. And other than, I think I said earlier, right? Other than we went out to Shay's mum and dad's place and hung out by the pool last night. Other than that, it's just been working the whole time.
Hey Shay, you should come up. There's going to be Guitar Fest in September at Sweetwater. For a day or whatever. You should come up. We're going to do the show. We're going to be there.
Dude, I'll come up there.
Come up for the day.
That'd be sweet. I went to Detroit 2 weeks ago.
Dave. Oh, you did?
Yeah, there was a motorcycle up there that I wanted to buy, and I was like, I'm just gonna go. So I bought a Harley, a chopper up there in Detroit, and I have not been to Detroit. 2006 or 7.
Oh, it's way changed.
Holy shit! It's wild up there, man.
It's cool now.
I didn't.
But no, come on. I Guitar Fest is like the 20-something, 23rd, 20-something of September, and I'm gonna be there. So I think the public day is one day, and then on a Saturday or something. I think it is. I'm not sure. I double check that, but
you guys are gonna have fun.
Yeah, come on up. We're gonna be there anyway, so come up and hang out.
We can talk Kyle into come up. Kyle from KSR. We can talk him to come on up there too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hang out at Sweetwater. Oh boy,
you're not gonna get any sleep if. Oh
God. Now we have a good time when we go up there, generally.
What's that?
And then 2 weeks earlier, I'm going to be in at Andy Wood's guitar. What is it called? Guitar. Why can I never remember the name? I'm going to be down in Nashville area, not Nashville, so Tennessee area for Andy Wood's guitar. Fuck, I don't know what's called. Let me figure that out.
Is it like a clinic thing, Dave? Or something
it's like a performance clinic kind of thing. Andy Wood's guitar woodshed experience.
Oh, the woodshed,
yeah. So I I got to go to that, and then I got to come home for a week, and then go back. I'm like, how can I work this out so I'm just there the whole time? I don't have to come home.
Yeah.
Well, I got a place right here if you need to stay. It's in the middle of both of those things.
I think I'll stay in Detroit before I'll stay in Indiana.
Oh, well,
sorry.
It's a little safer here in Bloomington, I'll tell you that.
I don't know. I'll stay with my daughter in Detroit.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was just in and out of there. I wish I could have cruised around and.
Oh yeah, in downtown, man. There's all sorts of great food and great places to go, and it's a fucking really good time. Really, really good time.
Hey, Michael Ibrahim's here. So MI Audio, right? You guys.
Oh yeah, hey.
Audio. Michael,
I used to love that stuff.
Yeah, man. So Michael's the connection that I don't know. I think I always knew who Michael was, of course, but we only actually got to talking to one another maybe 6 months ago or something. And Michael's awesome, man. Talk about knowledgeable. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So this I'll try and decode this message here. He says, "We'll send you the thingy for the thingy when you get back." He sent me a prototype of a new thing that he has developed just to check out, actually, which was it was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool to kind of get that, and very trusting of Michael too to send it to me.
Cool.
It's really. I don't want to say anything about it. Right, it's up to him. He'll announce it when it's good and ready. But it was really nice to get that and have a play with it. So you need to send me the thingy so I can send it back to you. It's sitting on the shelf at the moment. What else? What have we got here, guys? Just scrolling through the chat. A lot of talk here about attenuators.
We just talked about that the other day. Me and you, Jason.
What's that?
We both said, what's your favorite attenuator? We were talking about that the other day.
Oh yeah.
None of them really.
Yeah, none of them. Gary Holt's Langner Modern Marshall. We'll have to talk about this. It's one of your favorites, isn't it, Dan? That tone.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Okay.
Nice.
Lots of gain.
Oh yeah.
Lots of gain.
It does the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this question means, but I'm going to throw it out to the panel. Is it possible to make a combo amp for travel that will work on any electrical system?
So that's auto switching?
Any supply voltage. So you can have maybe an amplifier with a switch mode power supply.
Yeah. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is possible. Will it exist in the future? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. Yeah, if there's a market for it.
We actually have a super chat here that I've missed. I also have a Saint. Oh, this was the question. We just go back. I think this was the question.
Saint Rock is a good curve. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this was the question about the 2 notes. So okay. So this was the guy that asked the panel's opinion of the 2 notes reload 2. Goes on to say, I also have a Saint Rock React IR with an impedance curve I prefer.
Yeah, the Saint Rock is pretty decent. The impedance curve, it's proper.
Is that been around for a while, Dave?
It's a Russian deal. Yeah, it's been around a while.
Yeah,
it sounds good.
I've never tried one, but I've heard good clips of it.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, again, it's like the impedance curve you're just shooting for. What's your favorite impedance curve? What do you want it to sound like? Is it a V30 cabinet? Is it an EV cabinet? Is it a Greenback cabinet, a creamback cabinet? What's the curve? They're all slightly different. Yeah. So what is it ultimately you're shooting for? And then at different impedances, that curve changes also. So going to take into account that.
Amp dudes. So Ian says, amp dudes helping each other. There's hope for the human race. Yeah, man, we're saving. We're saving life on planet Earth one stream at a time.
One strand of wire at a time.
This question keeps coming up, so I need to hit it. Chris, hey Dave, this is the second time I've seen it in the chat. Will we get a Jose pedal like the IRX?
I mean, the IRX isn't that far off. I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for the IR series. We're gonna the next one will be very different. It will have a lot of different features and stuff, but I don't know when that'll be, and I don't know. what exactly we're doing yet. But it might be fully programmable. I can tell you that much.
Cool. Yeah.
You've been Leo's been there, hasn't he? You've been
Yes, he has.
It'd be nice to meet him one day. I need to come to NAM, won't I?
He's a mad genius.
Well, I know that because
and it's kind of crazy.
I've seen some of the stuff he's created. It's,
yeah,
I've got a lot of respect for him, that's for sure. Lou, here we go.
Hey, hold on, Jason. You missed another super chat above that one. T Skinhead, 6:08 p.m.
Damn, thanks, Joe. Good catch. T Skinhead, I have a question for Dan. Are there any plans for new mod products? Also, when will the overdrive pedals be available?
The latter part, there's no real specific plan. Like at the moment, I just have I've got a couple of pedals that I was playing around with some designs in, and they're not quite there. Like there was one that was a boost that I really like in front of like a gaming amp, but I want to do more with it. I've got a really funky coloured prototype that's sitting there, but it's at the moment it's got like a drive and a frequency selector in there, but I'm going to switch that out and it's going to be like a rotary dial instead, so you're not got stepped settings in there and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really know about that yet. It's at the moment that it'll probably be just if someone wants one, I'll just make them one at a time and just do it that way, And I also did there was a fuzz that I did as well, which was just, again, it was for my own kind of enjoyment because I was playing around with that kind of sound. And but yeah, maybe that will happen as well. For new mods, I mean, there's lots of things that I've already got designs kind of sitting there that I haven't really sort of put out there yet, but there's a few things I need to have a little bit of time to play around with. Maybe once the summer's out of the way and we're into the latter part of the year, I might start pushing some of those a bit more.
So it's got to be hard too. I mean, when you're that booked up,
it's always tricky because you're always waiting for a free moment to do these kind of things, and then
man,
it's tricky, but
there's
you
no free
kind of
moments.
find a way to make it happen sooner or later, But yeah, so.
Dan, have you found with the stuff you have done with pedals?
Yeah.
Have you found that your kind of learnings and concepts from the tube amp world were able to be applied in any way, or was it kind of like a complete I've got to rethink how this, how to handle gain structures and all that?
Yeah, it is a bit different. It's not exactly the same. I mean, but then again, it depends on what kind of designs you're playing with, So, there's a million different ways to make drive pedals, booster pedals, and But a lot of the pedals that are out there, let's face it, they're variations on a theme. Same way with amps. I mean, it's not. There's not that much stuff out there that is crazy new and groundbreaking. A lot of it is kind of like pretty heavily based on things that already exist, and then kind of refining it further. And so I think the trick is you kind of got to experiment, look at the stuff that you really like the sound of, and then kind of work out why it sounds that way. And the same as you do with amps,
right?
You just got to kind of figure out, okay, it's that kind of thing that I like personally. How can I sort of do that and tune it in even more to my personal taste? So,
cool.
The thing is also I like stuff to be really dynamic. So I'm a big fan of plugging straight into an amp with nothing else in line. And I'm so used to doing that. So if I plug a pedal in, I don't want it to drastically change the way my the response I get from the guitar. I want it to kind of work with me and not work against me. So that's a big part of the fine tuning and dialing stuff in to get more of that kind of response, so it doesn't drastically completely change everything. And that's You know, that's a fucking rabbit hole that you end up head first down in.
Definitely. Yeah, and yeah, my apologies, man. T Skinhead, I did miss that super chat, so thanks, Shay, for saving me on that one. Let's go to this one. Okay, Lou is saying, "Hi guys, why did Marshall make the channel switching bleed on the 2205? Was it cheap components or design flaw?"
No, it's not shit components. I mean, it's not really any different components.
Design flaw.
Yeah, it's a design flaw. It's like
Is
the
it layout?
PCB was all fucked up and weird, and just a bad design. Is, you know, that's the main thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I
It's got a
mean,
relay. It's using I can't remember what it is.
I mean, does anyone really
Chip
care
release?
about that amp anyway?
No, it's
Yeah,
terrible
exactly.
sounding thing.
yeah, you just buy the trick is you just buy
Not
the one
me.
from like 87, 88 beyond, and like when they redesigned it, it was way better than the first one. You know, and they never told anyone they were redesigning it, did they? I mean, there was no announcement. You know, we've rebuilt it and redesigned it, but the later one was really cool. But on the flip side, I just saw Michael Schenker in London, like I think it was last month or whenever it was, I can't remember. But anyway, he had one of the shitty ones.
Yeah.
And it was like Tone of the fucking Gods.
Michael
Oh my
says,
God. It was
I'm
just
not.
like
I'm
you-
not saying that some people have gotten good tones out of it because they
Yeah.
have. You know, even Tom Morello. You know, and
I was going to
like,
say, isn't
you
that the
know,
amp that Tom Morello
but-
had? Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't get that amp. But,
No, I don't get it
but-
either. It doesn't work
but,
for me, but man,
know.
did it sound good in Schenker's hands.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
Well, he's got
incredible.
great hands.
Yeah, and I mean, 75 watt Celestians, just box standard cab, you know,
Yeah.
the same kind of cabs everyone usually shits on. And he just walks in and just gets this tone, and like everyone's jaw is just on the floor. It's just crazy,
Mhm.
isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, we're nearly done on this chat, guys. I've got one more here at the end. What's your opinion on electric guitars with no tone knob?
I love those.
Yeah,
I've got a workshop. They're all
I
behind
got a
Jason.
ton of guitars like that.
it was good enough for Eddie. It's
Yeah,
same with me.
it works.
It's
I
more
also
open.
like,
It's more sound. It's more top end. It's more.
Yeah.
It's more.
it's more peaky, that's for sure, in the top. You know, it's way more you get a bit more of that kind of chirp in the top end, which is fun.
Jason, show that yellow one in there.
This guitar, hang on, look at this one here. This is probably Rob, just hang on. Oops, I broke it.
Oh no,
It's okay.
breaking my stuff.
This guitar, this is one of my favorite guitars that Shay's got here. I've played this a bunch, and this is my
Very
fourth
cool.
visit here, right, to Shay's workshop,
Yeah.
Shay's house. This guitar is killer, single volume. And what's the pickup in this thing again?
That's a parallel access original one. That guitar, there was a guy, I think he was in Milwaukee, Third Story Guitars. I'm not sure if he's still active, but he did that body in nitro and relic. It's really cool. And then he's
it
made the
looks really
pick
cool.
guard. Yeah, this I built this one recently. This is a Warmoth graffiti yellow. Stratosphere parts, got the neck from there. Healey guitars made me that Healey guitars made that pick guard. It's pretty cool.
That's
This
Fun.
is a nice neck on this one. Feels
Yeah.
great.
That looks like a riff machine.
It's graffiti yellow, man. What a cool color, you know.
Yeah.
Every guitar in this room is tuned to drop D.
Perfect. The way it should be.
Yeah.
My guitar mostly lives in drop D also.
This is
It's
the thing.
It's like when you're testing amps and you're turning dials, you need to be able to just like play a chord.
Yeah,
with one
yeah,
hand,
yeah.
right? So dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 you know, it's just-
Yeah,
It's
it's easier.
true, man. That is
Yeah,
true.
you're turning the knobs, you're just hitting the strings. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, no, I understand that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also sounds badass though.
Everything sounds a bit meaner in drop D.
That's for sure.
Well, yeah, it's drop D. It's not. It's actually really like C sharp because the guitar's tuned
Drop
E
D.
flat.
And
Same for me usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually tuned
Guitar's
across.
always in E flat, and then
Yeah.
drop string or not drop string.
Every guitar in there is tuned to that exactly.
Yep.
It's funny,
There you
isn't
go.
it? You know what? If you're used to playing in E flat, and you pick up a guitar that is in standard E, is it just me or does it feel less gainy? Like, because the tightness on the strings, it feels cleaner, doesn't it?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. It's almost like
and it throws
it's
me off
almost like-
sometimes.
a guitar that's in the flat. It's almost like a Variac.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of like it's a bit more forgiving, a bit more spongy. You know,
it is.
like you've dialed the
definitely
voltage down on a plexi or something. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, one of my friends, like, he always has his guitar tuned down in like straight D, like actual D, like not a drop D, but like a whole step down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or
D-standard, yeah.
lower, or even lower than that. And he's not playing like super heavy stuff or anything. He's just playing like Van Halen type stuff. But man, does it make everything sound so gainy and like saturated? It's so killer.
D-standards killer, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's
that's
just so
That's
big
the
and-
whole Motley Crue thing,
Motley
right?
Crue thing.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
does make everything sound bigger and thicker and
all
everything.
of the Exodus, Gary Holt. That's all mostly
Yeah.
D-standard, right? It's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
And you know what? And if you do it without changing your string gauge, can actually sound really cool. Like light strings that are tuned that like down quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you can adjust your pick attack and everything a little bit, that can sound
Yeah.
really, really massive.
Yeah.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, we've
Yeah.
done 3 hours.
Our usual effort. Awesome.
We did
I think we're through it.
I think we're
All right,
through.
guys. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in again. We had a good number of people on the stream, so that's great. Everyone came in, and it was nice to do this in the evening.
Not
or
at 7
afternoon for
a.m.?
me. Not at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Refreshing change, right?
it is, man. It's a lot better. Anyway, it'll be
Well, there
fine.
you
Next
have
time next time it'll be 7 a.m. again.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We've got some thanks here.
Oh yeah, get it, Dan.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
All right, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Here we go.
Yeah.